evening and welcome to Saxon Stadium on the campus of Mercyhurst University for tonight's NPSL matchup between the Flower City Union and the unbeaten Erie Commodores. Hello again, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the live stream on the Erie Commodores YouTube page. It's a big one here, Jack, as the Erie Commodores come into this one ranked the #1 team in all the NPSL.
Yeah, they're all big from this point out, and we knew this team was really talented. We knew how good they were. We've seen that already. What we didn't realize was how resilient they are. In that game against Cleveland earlier this week, they had to endure a 3-hour and 6-minute weather delay. It was the biggest game of the year. First place was on the line here in the Great Lakes Division. The Commodores came through with flying colors. They were able, after a long delay, they didn't get started again until around 11 p.m. That delay came in the 24th minute. They were able to come out. It was 0-0 at the time. They were able to come out with a 2-0 win to firmly take control in this Great Lakes Division. We know they're resilient. Now the question is, how are they going to be that they are now the hunted? How are they going to deal with success? I think they're going to deal with it quite well because this is also a very smart ball club.
This is a smart ball club that has players at all three levels. They come into tonight second in all the NPSL in goal differential. They are plus 24. The only team better than them, El Farolito at plus 35. Before we dive deep into this matchup, it's the second of the season between Flower City Union and the Erie Commodores. The Commodores taking the first matchup 2-0 over Flower City Union. Let's dive into the lineup here tonight as Flower City Union visiting Saxon Stadium for the first time this year. As we get set for this one, the Flower City Union matchup in this one. Taking a look, Jack.
You got
come in. Yeah, let's start in net as Carter Kladstrup gets things underway for this one in goal. And then on the defense, it's Matt Bamford, Adam Grover, and then you also have Ewan O'Dwyer Hall.
Flower City coming in 1, 2, and 4. That's to say 1 win, 2 draws, and 4 losses. So it's been a little bit of a rough go for them. In fact, as best I can tell, Rodrigo Gomez, who is not listed on the roster tonight, is the only player on this team with more than 1 goal. So they're going to need to find some offense and find it early against the Commodores.
And the midfield, Jack Hobson, Nick Rippey, and Nate Masucci will set up the midfield, and then at the striker position, Dylan Rice, Archie Murphy, and Joey Avalone set up this group. And as you mentioned, a group that has struggled at times this year to find the back of the
They're
net.
coming off of a 1-1 draw to arch rival Rochester. Of course, Flower City is also in Rochester. So this is huge for them because it's almost like a dormy situation, like in match play in golf. They really need a win tonight, talking about their postseason prospects. The Commodores don't need a win, but obviously they want to stay in first place. They want to stay in firm control because they still have 1 more with Cleveland, 2 with the Ambassadors of Ohio, who are their other main groups of competition in this league. So it's a critical game for both, for Erie for positioning and for Flower City just to potentially get into the playoffs. A loss tonight would be devastating.
As for the Erie Commodores, it'll be Alan Horrocks once again in net tonight. Jack, take us through the rest of tonight's lineup.
Well, you've got Michu Bavon, the defenders, Martin Baudelet and Sho Keenho. The midfielders, Alvar Silva, Julian Tovar, Santiago Bustamante, Will Perry, Alex Sanchez, and then the forwards, Rikito Takuchi and Masaki Suji. Talking about that 2-0 win up in Cleveland. Actually, it was in Berea. It was Julian Tovar and Rikito Takuchi with the 2 goals in that critical 2-0 win. And that's nothing we haven't seen from those guys. Tovar with 7. I mean, that's amazing, averaging 1 goal a game. That's how good Tovar has been.
Yes, Tovar's been good. The one lineup note tonight that we do want to bring attention to late in that game, in that 2-0 win over Cleveland SC, Santiago Geraldo received a red card at the 89th minute, which makes him unavailable for tonight's action. But still, a number of guys, including we talk about those guys up front in Suji and Takuchi. Boy, those are guys with speed, and they can track balls to set up some big plays.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal. They can get to any ball. You just put it up in the air. Wind's not going to be a factor tonight. They can run under it like a great wide receiver. And also Alvar Silva having a phenomenal year with 3 goals and an assist. And you mentioned, really unfortunate for Geraldo getting a red in the 89th minute. And, of course, as I'm sure our viewers know, the rule is you get a red, you're out for the next game.
Nice to see that back end back together as we had, I believe it was Baudelet that missed the last home game. Do want to mention, though, too, Will Perry was impressive the last time out here a week ago. Interested to see him later tonight. All right, that'll do it for our opening block. As coming up, we'll preview off the pitch, as we'll be talking with Coach Kata and his outlook as the World Cup now underway. What does he see? That's coming your way. This is Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by LECOM. We'll be back to preview and break down this one and the highlights of a week ago coming up in just a moment.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
LECOM is among the nation's largest and most applied to medical schools. We expand the boundaries of medical knowledge, challenging our students and preparing them to realize their potential. With 4 campuses nationwide and over 17,000 alumni, you can become part of the next generation of LECOM graduates. At LECOM, we make doctors.
Visit Erie. Good Life, Great Lake.
Hi folks, John Melody back here again as we continue our podcast. Sitting here with Coach Kata again. How are you doing?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
World Cup 2026, North America, Canada, USA, Mexico. A 48-team field. Huge. Games all over the place, different time zones. What do you expect?
I think, it's a brand new World Cup, something different the last years. And especially you mentioned the 48 teams. It's going to be something different, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to go, because it's good that there's a lot of opportunities for new nations to be in, but at the same time, the quality of the game could be reduced a bit. But definitely I think if there's a place to do that, it's North America for sure.
Do you think that players enjoy playing in the World Cup today as much as they maybe did 25, 30 years ago? I mean, obviously with the huge money that players are making in domestic leagues, obviously they're not getting paid or not getting paid anything like that to represent their countries. Is this a burden that some of them don't want, or do you think that those players really, really, really want to play in this?
I think it's always they have pride to represent their country, but at the same time, football has changed a lot. And I think nowadays they're even more focused about their own clubs than going and representing your own nation. But it shouldn't be like that. You get a call once every 4 years, you should go to it. And I feel like nowadays there's not the same passion anymore to play and go represent your country.
Might be different for, obviously on this side of the world, with the States and Canada and Mexico. Obviously you want to do really, really well. You've seen Germany win it in Germany. You've seen France win it in France. And you've seen Argentina, I believe, won it in Argentina. Or they were definitely in South America when they won their first one. The fact geographically, it's interesting how countries from the hemisphere, that side of the world, tend to do better in the World Cup. Why do you think that is?
I think it starts from the bottom, from the grassroots. Developing, in Europe and in South America as well, football, soccer is everything that they know. Whether here in America you have different sports. You have American football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, etc. So I think having that passion and kind of the only dominant sport make it better. And after that is the implication of the people of their own country.
Yeah.
Since you're a kid, 6, 7, 8 years old, you have good coaches, good preparation for the coaches as well, and everyone is on the same path. And my question for you is, now that soccer is so big here in America, how do you think this can impact the other sports that they're going to be here?
It's interesting watching soccer develop, and I've been involved in it. It's 40 years ago since I got to the States. You know what I mean? And what I've seen in the mid 80s to now is day and night. At one point, maybe not the best athletes played soccer. You know what I mean? America's full of good athletes. That's never America's problem. Is athleticism. I think sometimes America's strength is America's weakness. the place is so big, it's hard to get the best players, playing with the best players all the time. That's kind of changing a little bit because now some of their best players are playing in Europe, and they're just getting better kind of, I'm not saying better coaching, but they're tough games week in, week out, and it's difficult to not to get better, so to speak. So I'm interested to see, can they take on the burden of playing at home? Because I think a lot of times people would look at the US women's team and go, well, they've won World Cups, why can't our men's team do it? And we know it's the same game, but it's day and night because of funding and different things like that, and opportunity and all of these kind of things. So I'd really like to see them do well, because I think it kind of, anything like that lifts a nation. And one of the things I'd always say about America is they don't always get a chance to shout for their nation. Basketball is only played in North America. Ice hockey is only played in North America. Baseball is only played in North America. You know what I mean? So they're shouting for their individual teams more so than shouting for their nation on a world stage. So I'm hoping they do extremely well, and I'm hoping that so many people kind of jump on the proverbial bandwagon and just see that shouting for your country is a real honor in a sport that's national. I know sometimes in the domestic sports and the North American sports they want to call themselves world champions, but there's only maybe 2 or 3 countries competing in those. So this is a real world championship. So I hope they do really well, because I think it's only good for the game if they do.
Yeah, definitely will develop every single category of soccer that is in the United States.
Yeah.
And now I think there was an article that said soccer is now the 3rd most sport played in America, overpassing baseball. And I think that just shows having that and the World Cup coming here next year is just bring more excitement to every single regard of soccer that there's here in the States.
For all information, folks, and to stay up to date, you can visit our website, eriecommodores.com. From me, John Melody, from Coach Kata, thanks for joining us. See you next time.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
If you know what you want, LECOM will help you achieve it. We are among the nation's largest and most applied to medical schools, offering programs in medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, and podiatry, with student-centered learning and a nearly 100% residency placement. With 4 campuses nationwide, you can count on LECOM for your future. Become the medical practitioner you know you can be. At LECOM, we make doctors.
We welcome you back here to Saxon Stadium on the campus of Mercyhurst University for this matchup tonight between Flower City Union and the Erie Commodores. Jack, it was just a week ago, as you mentioned, the most recent game, that 2-0 win in Cleveland after that lengthy delay. But a week ago, boy, do we see a performance against the Buffalo Stallions.
Yeah, it was a dominating effort here at Saxon Stadium a week ago. Here we're going to take a look at the replays, and it was another example of the Commodores here you see getting on the board in the 15th minute. Could have very easily won this game by even more than they did.
Yeah, you had Sho Kincho there right on the back end, putting home the first one, and then from there, Julian Tovar would take over as he would come up here just 7 minutes later as the initial shot pushed away, but Tovar sends it home.
Yeah, the keeper had a rough day. I mean, if you're going to come out, you've got to get it, and there's nothing he could do there. But it was just an onslaught. I want to go back to that first goal, a phenomenal cross on the corner kick that set it up.
And the Commodores, they got some goaltending as well, unfortunately, from Tim Teicher. This was his lone save of the night, and that is where he was injured. Alan Horrocks would come in, and, of course, Horrocks would also play this past Wednesday.
The good news is he walked off under his own power, seemed to be okay, but it's a good problem to have when you've got 2 outstanding keepers.
Yes, and then you had Alvar Silva just sitting there on the miscue between the keeper and his defender.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and you got to take advantage of the opportunities when the other team slips up, and that's exactly what the Commodores did. And then another great cross.
Yeah, Tovar there for his second of the match, and boy, the route was on from there. They had one more in them.
Tsuzuki with the phenomenal cross there, and then here we see the aforementioned Tsuzuki getting it into the middle, and then a beautiful ball. That was right from behind us. We could see the English that was put on that one, back right corner of the net. Alvar
Plantis had come into the game as a substitution. He deposits the goal there for the 5-0 victory. That got the Commodores to 6-0 on the season. Of course, they added another victory. Jack, let's come into this one here tonight. As you mentioned, Flower City comes in. They're off a draw. Kyle Nelson, the lone goal there. They're 1-2-4. They're in dire need of a victory. Meanwhile, the Commodores, the last time these two played, a 2-0 victory, and they're rolling on all cylinders.
Yeah, Flower City is right now in 5th place in the Great Lakes Conference. Of course, the Commodores, unbeaten, untied upon, only allowed 1 goal all year. So Flower City has to pretty much win out at this point as they try to track down Ambassadors, who's in that number 3 spot. But a huge win for Erie. Gives them a little bit of breathing room. And then again, they're going to be the hunted now. They're going to be the team with the target on their back throughout the rest of the season. We'll see how they deal with it. I think they'll deal with it pretty well.
Well, we'll see if this is an emerging rivalry. We've talked about some of the teams that have come into the NPSL and the Great Lakes Conference over the last couple of years. This is the team that knocked the Commodores. Again, 2 different teams maybe, but this was the team that won it all last year in the Great Lakes Conference and knocked the Commodores out of the postseason.
Yeah, and it was a very intense game. It went to overtime. It ended up being a 2-goal loss for Erie. They had a guy, at least one player, I think, ended up with a red card in that extra session. But, yeah, 2 totally different teams, particularly Erie. I mean, the foot speed by this Commodores team, it really is night and day this season compared to last season. And they're so well. They were well coached last year, but they're so well coached this season.
We do want to mention, if you missed us off the top, the Erie Commodores coming in with that unbeaten mark of 7-0. They are the number 1 ranked team in all the NPSL, so do not miss a game. If you're not here tonight, make sure you get tickets. They've got 2 more regular season home games after tonight, or make your way up if you are nearby. They are second in the NPSL in goal differential. All right, let's start with Flower City. This is a group that couldn't find the back of the net last time these two played. How do they get to there tonight, and maybe who can they count on?
Well, they got to score some goals. I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't know what else to say here. It's not brilliant Emmy Award-winning analysis, but they got to find a way to put the ball into the back of the net. And Erie's defense has been so good, but their offense has been so good too. Their offense really is their defense, because the Commodores in all the games we've seen have just dominated field position. And when you're on your heels defensively, as all the teams they've played here in Erie have been, it is so demoralizing. So that's going to be the biggest key, is for Flower City consistently to possess the ball in Erie territory and then go from there.
It's great you mentioned possession, Whedon. We first talked at Media Day to Coach Kata Nastuda. Hey, what kind of team do you want to be? He goes, I want to possess the ball. And they have possessed the ball, especially here at Saxon Stadium. I think if we've seen maybe 5 opponent shots in the 3 previous games we've called here, that has been a lot. Meanwhile, for the Erie Commodores, just keep on keeping on tonight.
Yeah, and a gorgeous night weather-wise. Don't take my appearance for it. I'm schwitzing like an Airedale. The press box a little bit warm, and we got these lights here to bring you this great broadcast, but it's about 73, 75 degrees. Another gorgeous night. Quite a difference from that game up in Cleveland last week, or earlier this week, I should say, that featured a 3-hour and 6-minute weather delay.
Meanwhile, you're coming to the game tonight. We want to thank Lecom, as they are sponsors, the title sponsor all year long. Tonight's match sponsored by Michelob Ultra. And Jack, I want to remind people too, as with a 7-0-0 mark, postseason, not a question at this point. It's just where they're going to be positioned. Don't forget about that Heritage collection. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. Boy, head over to Erie Apparel. They've got a nice collection there.
You buy it now, wear it on Friday for the next World Cup game. The Commodores will not be home until the 27th when they host that Cleveland team again. That may end up being for the division title, because they got to go to the Ambassadors down in at Malone University in Canton right before that. So that is going to be the biggest home game of the season, no doubt. So, yeah, go online, pick up the Heritage Collection. You can wear it on Friday as the U.S. looks to go 2-0 in the World Cup, but then you can wear it to the game. Certainly you can wear it in between, but then you wear it to the game on the 27th right here.
And the next, just a preview ahead, the next couple of games, the last 2 home regular season, Cleveland SC on the 27th, and then the July 3rd would be that final home game of the regular season. The match will get underway in just a short while. For Jack Quinn, I'm John Leidig. Thanks for joining us for pregame. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Flower City Union, Erie Commodores, they're coming up next.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
Like in medicine, great achievements in sports require hard work, long hours, and determination. The outcome in both is worth the effort. LECOM is among the largest and most applied to medical schools, with 4 campuses nationwide, offering student-centered learning and a nearly 100% residency placement. The Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. We make dreams reality. We make doctors.
Visit Erie. Good Life, Great Lake.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
Like in medicine, great achievements in sports require hard work, long hours, and determination. The outcome in both is worth the effort. LECOM is among the largest and most applied to medical schools, with 4 campuses nationwide, offering student-centered learning and a nearly 100% residency placement. The Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. We make dreams reality. We make doctors.
Visit Erie. Good life, great lake.
Hello there, everyone. John Leidick joining you here as the #1 ranked Erie Commodores take on the Flower City Union. Jack Quinn will join me shortly as we'll step aside here and give you the lineups coming up in a minute as the national anthem plays here at Saxon Stadium. And we welcome you back here into the broadcast booth as we get you set for this one. Let's take you through the starting lineups of this one if you're just joining us here. Starting in goal for the Flower City Union, we'll go through their lineup first. It's #1, Carter Kladstrup. On defense, #6, Matt Bamford. Also on defense tonight would include #18, Quentin Herman, Adam Grover, #23, and Ewan O'Dwyer Hall, #27. At the midfield position, start things off, #11, Nick Rippey. #12, Nate Masucci. and Jack Hobson, number 14. At the striker position tonight for Flower City, Dylan Rice, number 10, number 22, Joey Avalone, and number 29, Archie Murphy. For the Erie Commodores tonight, Alan Horrocks gets his second consecutive start. The Merlot, Argentina native, gets his second start and third appearance. He came in midway through last week's game after the injury to Tim Teicher late in the first half of play. On defense, Sho Kinjo will be joined by Mathieu Bevon, as well as Martin Baudelaire, as the trio reunites on the back end after Baudelaire missed the last home game here a week ago. At the midfield, Alvar Silva, Alex Sanchez. You have Julian Tovar, and then you have at the forward position Rakito Takuchi and Masaki Tsuji. Also at midfield, when I mentioned Will Perry, will get things underway tonight. As we mentioned, the number one team in all the NPSL, the Erie Commodores, come in tonight 7-0-0. The Flower City Union stand at 1-2-4. The Commodores also, they've been able to find the back of the net quite frequently. They have the second best goal differential in all the NPSL at plus 24. The only team better than them is El Farolito at plus 35. And also the Commodores have allowed the second fewest goals so far this season in all the NPSL. Bristol Rhythm AFC has yet to yield a goal. They are the only team that has a better mark than the Erie Commodores, who were in first place in the Great Lakes Conference. Sitting behind them, Cleveland SC at 5-1-1, and the Ambassadors FC Ohio at 4-0-1. So, Jack, the Commodores look to create some more space tonight if they can get a victory here and sweep the season set against Flower City.
I think I used to know someone named Bristol Rhythm. I don't know. Anyway, Commodores going with the yellow jerseys tonight. I like the look. Both teams with legible numbers. We appreciate that. Flower City in the black and purple. Erie with the yellow. I don't think we saw the yellow jerseys last year. They went to the purple jerseys at times, but They're going with the yellow here on the blue.
It's been a while. These date back to that 17-18 championship games, as they used to wear those. They had the blue and the yellow.
I don't know if Dan Devine was in the locker room with them and switched them as he did with the green jerseys back in 1970. Well, he's no longer with us. No wind tonight. It's a warm night. They'll probably give him some hydration breaks, as if you were watching our open. It's warm up here in the press box as well, but a very pleasant night, about 75 degrees or so.
You were glistening with greatness.
Yes, glistening with greatness. You got to love the alliteration.
All right, we'll get set as that opening kick from the Commodores sailed out of play, so it'll be a throw in for Flower City Union as they'll get set to toss this one in here. But again, the pressure from the Commodores, that is what causes some havoc for some teams, as Julian Tovar, the team's leading goal scorer, will just direct it over to Will Perry, who will play along the line and try to reset here. The Commodores, the interesting part has been watch the first few minutes as Takuchi will feed to Bustamante. The first few minutes, they've struggled at times this year, so we'll see if they can get off to a quick start. They had a goal in the 15th minute to start the last home game here at Saxon Stadium.
I don't even know that they've struggled. They just haven't been as good, and I think in some instances they've been as crisp. Yeah, exactly, and they haven't been as not that they've been lucky, but they were unlucky in some instances 2 games ago. With some ricochets that didn't go in. But you've got to be happy with the start here. As we talked about it in the open, they are controlling field of play. That's been their calling card all year.
Sanchez with a now. He's going to feed. Look at Tsuji coming in, and a great aggressive attack there from the keeper, and that is Carter Kladstrup coming out there. We saw that go against a team a week ago here in the Buffalo Stallions, but Kladstrup getting aggressive early.
There's a phenomenal play by Kladstrup coming out there, and again, you've got to get it out of there if he doesn't get it, and he did just that. I thought on the entry pass that was going to be a goal, so that's a great play. But once again, Erie on the attack.
Takuchi will feed it into the middle there with Sanchez. Bustamante will just feed it wide over there to Masaki Tsuji, who has been a key part, and that's going to be a takedown and a free kick here coming up for the Commodores on the foul.
No replay reviews in the NPSL. Just if you were watching the U.S. last night, they can now overturn and review flopping, which is a great boon to the sport of soccer. That was obviously not a flop. That was a legitimate foul. And another good opportunity here for Erie just in the 3rd minute with a free kick from the far side.
Yeah, a lot of replay, including in Major League Baseball, Jack.
Yes.
How are you a fan of that?
I love it. I just wish Cleveland could actually successfully challenge every now and then.
Guardians coming away with a victory 3-1 today against the Detroit Tigers.
2 in a row. Critical that they would have won that series. And they beat Tarek Skubal in his return. He looked good.
Meanwhile, Perry will set up here with Sanchez. Perry with a fake. throw it into the box. That one headed away by the defender there that time. Last touch by Matt Bamford. And that'll set up a corner kick for the Commodores.
You mentioned Perry, and you mentioned him in the open. He seemed like he was all over the field. It was almost like you were seeing double. He was always in the middle of everything in that big win that they had here last Saturday. Just a guy that's a high soccer IQ for one thing, but just great speed as well. And defensively, it seemed like he was always in there making plays, getting the ball to the open man.
Sanchez will get set to send it in. Another point to Perry. He doesn't maybe light up the stat sheet, but he is the man that kind of sets up the play to get things started. He did that a week ago quite frequently, as Jack mentioned.
So he parries.
Sanchez talking to the official over something, trying to maybe get a little more space. He'll send it into the box there on the short side. That one headed away by the Flower City Union, but right on it, the aforementioned Perry. Bustamante got to take it to the far side. Drop it off to Bovan. Right back to Bustamante. Trying to run the line there, but pushed out that time by Avalone. Striker for this Flower City Union team.
That's the second airplane. We mentioned striker earlier when we were off the air. So there you go, throw coming up. And once again, Erie doing, if they just continue to control things, good things will happen for them. And it's a great start, exactly what they wanted to do here.
Jack, to your point earlier, the only thing that has stopped the Commodores early in matches has been the keeper on the other side. Because they have came with pressure. They have put balls on net, but it has been a keeper at times that has kept them from a
Well, the funny thing is, too, despite scoring 25 goals through 7 games, Erie has, you'd think, well, the keepers they faced must have not been very good. That's not been the case. There's been in almost every single one of the goals that I've seen Erie scored, and then the 2 up in Cleveland, I went back and watched the video of that game. There's just nothing the keeper can do. There's just well-executed offense by Erie.
Silva, as he goes there.
Play on. Boy, he got...
Play on. He's holding that left leg there. Slow to get up, but he'll side rather, the left hip area. He'll play on as Tovar with pressure on it. Man with the ball there is Masucci.
I want to credit, too, the Cleveland broadcasters because they vamped for 3 hours during that rain delay. They did not go off the air, so I don't know what you and we would have been talking about, the New England Patriots of 2007. I don't know what we would have done, but I give them a lot of. They were actually going
all soccer.
At one point, no, they were going through their favorite foods and whatnot.
Okay.
But it was they kept everyone entertained throughout that 3 hour and 6 minute weather delay up in Berea earlier this week.
They call that rain delay theater. I think you and I could have carried ourselves.
I think we could have, absolutely.
We could have talked about.
Fortunately, it's not been a factor because it seems like we always have gorgeous weather for these Commodore home games.
They've been, since the regular season started, the only game that was maybe a bit of a inclement weather type of event, and it wasn't even precipitation. It was the friendly against Pittsburgh. It was probably closer to 45 degrees.
Right.
But beyond that, the regular season, they have dialed up gorgeous weather.
Well, and last Saturday we had very high winds in the area. A lot of people were without power in the morning and early afternoon, but the weather turned out to be brilliant for the game itself.
Yes, it has been mid-70s as Tovar takes it there, muscling with the defender. That time it was Bamford. Boy, he is a big human.
Yeah,
on the back end.
That was a nice job by Bamford to essentially just take it away.
Again, Alan Horrocks, the keeper here today for the Commodores. He's played the last 2.5 games dating back to last Saturday after Tim Teicher departed. We have not seen Armandia for quite some time as well. So Aymar saw the first couple of games as a feed there. Tovar trying to find Perry, but an offside call there that time might have been on Silva.
Boy, Silva, because I was looking at Perry, and I thought he was on and did a nice job to stay on. And that's another thing you see in the World Cup is the offside, and they do such a nice job with that graphic showing exactly where they have to be and that they're onside. And the player for the United States last night in extra time getting that 4th goal did a phenomenal job to stay onside.
Well, Jack, I will be proven incorrect because if it was offside,
yeah,
the
you're right.
would not have the ball.
They called a foul, and they called it well behind where the play ended up. So I'm not sure what the call was there. Obviously, a foul of some sort before they dumped it in.
Second free kick now for the Commodores as Perry will set to line this one up with Bustamante, the nearby option. Perry sends it into the box. The header there that time coming off a bottle lay, but it'll go just wide left of the net. and that'll be a goal kick for Flower City.
Great play, though, by Perry. And Baudelet, again, right idea, just could not quite get the angle. And he couldn't get enough on it. Even if it was angled toward the net, I'm not sure he would have been able to get it by Kladstrup.
So the Commodores with a couple of early chances here in the 8th minute. As a beautiful night. You know, you talk about all that technology. We are blessed to have the broadcast crew we have. Our Frank Media does a fantastic job. And the different tools that he has. Maybe we'll talk to him about next year's broadcast. We'll add the digital graphics for offside.
There you go, absolutely.
We'll make the pitch to the sponsors, who a number of great sponsors this season, including Lecom, the title sponsor tonight, Michelob Ultra, the match sponsor. Also want to thank Marquette Savings Bank, our Frank Media, Curtsy Food Service, Visit Erie Insurance as well. Big key parts of making these Commodores broadcasts such a great experience each and every week.
And what better way to watch this World Cup than with a nice Mick Ultra? I was watching, actually, believe it, I was watching the second half of Bosnia and Canada yesterday. Canada outplaying the Bosnians, but they had to settle for a 1-1 draw. Actually, it looked like Bosnia was going to win.
It was interesting. I did not know this. Not obviously the biggest world soccer fan. That was the first ever World Cup point for Canada.
Yeah. So good. And, you know, they obviously qualify because I don't know how they did in the World Cup qualifier, but as one of the host countries, and that match was in Toronto, it was an incredible atmosphere. Saw Mike Myers in the stands, Jim Carrey. Did not see Celine Dion.
I wonder if she's following France.
Foul ball. There is a high school travel baseball game going on in the baseball field behind us, and a foul ball made its way onto the pitch.
Yeah, I wonder if she's French-Canadian, correct?
Yes, I believe she's from Northern Canada. Did not see Neil Young there either.
Yeah. Maybe they wanted to see how the first match went.
Right. But, yeah, Mike Myers was there and Jim Carrey.
It's been an interesting 3 days. Of course, Mexico coming away with a victory. You also had South Korea, 2-1 victory on Thursday. The U.S., of course, 4-1 winners last night to get off to a good start against Paraguay as this one thrown away. We'll talk to John Melody about all this. And Jack, the stunner, I guess, today, Switzerland had led 1-0, but Qatar comes back for the equalizer, and an unexpected result in the first of the Saturday matches. 2 more to go later today.
Qatar, the host last time around, and so they represent against the Swedes. Actually, the Commodores kind of looking like the Swedes with their jersey, with the yellow jerseys.
This will be a throw in for Flower City Union, the first pressure and the attacking third that we've seen from the Union here. Just gone by in the 11th minute is a strong throw in there as Baudelet heads it away, but that's going to go to the goal line, and that'll set up a corner kick here. As on the far side, that'll be Jack Hobson set to send it in for the corner.
We'll see how the Commodores respond here in that game last Saturday. I think there was only one corner attempted against Erie, and it came very late when the game was totally out of reach, as I recall.
Yeah, and really, as we get set here for Hobson to send it in, he'll go short. That one headed away. Another chance and a misstep there that time as UNO Dwyer Hall. That one thrown wide of the net. Yeah, really the lone chance that we saw for the Buffalo Stallions, you saw it on the highlight package if you joined us for the pregame show, was they got loose behind the defense. And that one shot on Tim Teicher where he was injured, he came up with a big save point blank, and that was really it for Buffalo.
Yeah, it really was. And that was unfortunate for O'Dwyer Hall there, as he had a pretty good look from the top. And as you said, just totally mishit it. We'll see now if Erie can reclaim the field position here after a brief threat from Flower City out of Rochester. Look out.
Yes, that's a throw that back. And boy, as Kladstrup has had to be on his toes, but now maybe a chance for Flower City is with it. It is Joey Avalone. He'll feed it. Archie Murphy in the attempt here. That one's going to go out of play, but boy, Kladstrup has had to come out and challenge a couple of Commodore chances here early. Almost another chance for Tovar, the team's leading goal scorer.
Throw for Erie. I think Commodores thought maybe offside there, but I disagreed. I think he was on, did a nice job.
Kinjo, the one throwing that in.
This is a good defensive team. I mean, they've only allowed 12 goals all year. It's just been on the offensive side. We mentioned they only had one player, according to the box scores that I went through, that had scored more than 1 goal on the year, and he is not listed on their roster today. So they're going to need to manufacture some offense. get those runners moving, bunting, etc.
Masaki Tsuji trying to get behind the defense there. Adam Grover, though, with a good chance to stop that transition attack for the Commodores.
Yeah, Rodrigo Gomes de Almeida, was 3 goals on the season, but yes, was not listed on the roster today.
You mentioned that 3 of just their 10 goals for on the year. So not a group that finds a lot of offense, and the reason for their 1, 2, and 4 mark here.
And they scored 4 in one game in their one win, so 4 of their 10 came in one ball game.
I would imagine their lone win.
Yes, that's correct.
Has Silva with it now. Silva was up for that NPSL Player of the Month.
It is great the way the NPSL, and I mentioned this to our viewers, that they put up all of the box scores from every game. It tells you who played, how many minutes, goals, assists, yellow cards, red cards, substitutes. Yeah, they do a nice job with that NPSL website, keeping everyone up to date.
Bustamante will feed it over to Sanchez, who has Tovar. Tried to go with a quick touch there to Sanchez, but couldn't get it through. Takuchi coming up with pressure as Flower City will just clear it out, try to set things up at midfield. But Commodores, a couple of headers, regain control. Tovar trying to go back to Silva that time, but unable to find him, and that sets O'Dwyer Hall headed the other way.
Commodores just half a step off here over the last 10 minutes or so. Great the first 3 minutes as we're now into the 15th minute, but since then, spacing not quite as crisp as it has been. We'll see if they can rectify that. Not that they've been bad, it's just not as good.
I can imagine it'll be a similar conversation, at least as it stands now, is I think early in these games we've seen the Commodores maybe, to Coach Kata Nastuda, who's in his first year here with the Commodores, maybe trying to be too cute, as there's another foul ball that comes behind the keeper.
They really ought to put up a net over there, and I know we were talking earlier, they don't normally have dueling events here, but there used to be one, as I recall, but I don't know.
All right, I just want to make sure that the keeper saw it there.
Yeah, you don't want to step on a baseball. Remember, that's how Henry Rowan Gardner got hurt his elbow.
For Rookie of the Year.
Ended up playing for the Cubs, but I believe he was running in the outfield and stepped on a ball.
Yep. Fortunate enough for him, it gave him about a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. At the time, he probably would have been an ace.
Going to get a goal kick here. Well, he had Marv, one of the Sticky Bandits, as his pitching coach, as I recall, so that really helped him out.
Yeah, well.
And
as our movie references continue to drop here.
Gary, I have a hard time as Gary Busey is a major league pitcher. That was not
it
was an interesting casting choice there.
And he was like the legend, too.
Yeah, right, yeah. He's legendary, all right.
As we continue along here, scoreless, I'm John Laddick alongside Jack Quinn. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the Erie Commodores broadcast presented by Lee-Com.
It was a beautiful pass up ahead, just could not, I believe that was Tovar, just could not hold it. Now a chance perhaps the other way for Rippey.
Rippey now with it, trying to find the attacking Avalone. That one goes to the corner. It's going to be a throw in here. I believe it's going to be Flower City with it now. Coming over to throw it in there will be none other than Rippey, who had the feed to set Flower City into the attacking third. See owner John Melody there to the left in the white polo. He'll join us at halftime to talk all things World Cup over the first 2.5 days of action. As with it now is Quentin Herman. He's going to feed it far side, try to reverse fields. Commodores with pressure. They'll force a retreat for Flower City.
Boy, nice ball. Boy, that was well done. Offside.
And there's an offside called as Masucci went to send that away. So Commodores will take it, try to get back into the attacking third as Tovar with it now. Here's Takuchi. He's looking, trying to keep on side. He has Alvar Silva. Drop it to Will Perry. Perry with it now, fires on net, trying to get it to Tovar, who just couldn't get a toe on it to flip it ahead of Carter Kladstrup. And he'll just quietly corral that one and kind of let the dust settle and reset.
Yeah, another half step. That would have been a goal. That was a great ball inside again.
Flower City sends it in to the attacking third. Is back there, Bavon Just flips it away. That one will hit the casing over there. The what do you call those things? Box. Storage units. Storage units, yeah. I think is what I was trying.
They look like
shipping units.
crates.
Yes. My mind was not allowing me to process that one. Boy, I will say, you know, regardless of the record, as there's going to be a foul called on the Commodores free kick upcoming for Flower City, this is the most pressure since the friendly against Pittsburgh we've seen from an opposing team in the attacking third.
Yeah, I agree. And credit Flower City. They've come out and played very well here after the first couple of minutes. They have been equal to Erie, at least so far. And they've got an opportunity here with this free kick. Rice.
Dylan Rice will look to send it in as he tries to get someone with it, but the Commodores out jump there that time. Nice. I believe it was Baudelet, and that'll set the Commodores free here.
They're going to have a 4-on-3 here.
Yeah, if they hurry. As Sanchez sends it across. Tovar, the man there, he's going to try and get Silva free. He does. Looks like he has the step there. Can he get the crosser off? That's the question. Not enough power behind that one, and it is cleared by the defense of Flower City. And that'll set up a throw-in.
Yeah, that's all right, though. That'll give everyone a chance to get up there and get the throw-in and try to retain possession. It just happened so quickly they couldn't really get anyone in front of the net quickly enough.
So we'll get set with Pavon. Send this one in. It's Commodores with it. Baudelet, the Frenchman. Two Frenchmen probably pretty excited for the start. I don't think they get started till later next week. It does France, one of the two favorites along with Spain in the World Cup 2026. We'll see where things stand.
And remember, John told us last week one of his sleeper teams, he didn't really pick them to win, but a sleeper team, the Dutch. So watch out for the Dutch.
Well, I did see, it was funny enough you say that, is with it now, Herman trying to just clear it out of his zone. Good touch there. I believe one of the Dutch players went down, either collapsed at one of the practices.
May get a card here.
Yeah, we'll see how things.
Looked like Sanchez just took that right on the thigh, maybe like the thigh just above the knee.
Yep.
And
yeah, we're
going to get a
card. That's
get a yellow.
Come against, is that Rice?
Yeah,
there?
it's Dylan Rice. First yellow for either side. But looks like he's okay. Nothing untoward. He wasn't obviously trying to kick him there because Flower City would have been able to maybe get on a run there. That's another thing Erie has done really well this year. Now, we mentioned in the Open that Santiago Geraldo got a red at the end of the match against Cleveland, so he's out today, but they have been very disciplined. I have not seen any chippiness from them at all this season, and they have kept the yellows to a minimum.
Yeah, the Commodores, despite their overall success, they have had quite a few cards at times this year, especially late in matches. They maybe get a little too aggressive.
I think you get punchy too, and especially too when you get a lot of subs in. You know, you're trying to maybe overexert. You're trying to do a little bit too much, and things can go awry. And well, I thought maybe we get a free kick there, but nope. Throw for Flower City.
So we approach the 22nd minute of play here. See how things go. Has back with it now. Kinjo. Perry. Pass it around here. Trying to see if they can reverse fields.
Flower City definitely sends Pittsburgh the quickest team. I mean, just here through the first 21-plus minutes that I've seen Erie take on. And again, that Pittsburgh team not in this league, and they were filled with a number of high-level D1 players. And Erie did not have two of their key players at that time. But this team definitely quicker than everyone else that we've seen, at least. Perhaps not Cleveland, but I didn't get a chance to see a ton of that game on the video stream.
We'll see how that goes. There's a little tug of the jersey there that time. Has 29s matching up with Murphy and Kinjo. And we're going to have...
yeah, Tovar got the call there, and we're going to get another yellow. How about that? Boy, that did not, to me anyway, look like it rose to the level of a yellow. I thought the first one did, but Bamford, so second yellow now issued to Flower City here in the first 22-plus minutes. We're in the 23rd minute.
Yeah, just 3 minutes apart there, as they're going to have a conversation here with the official, but nonetheless, it's not going to change the outcome. Sanchez will get set to send a free kick here. We'll see if the Commodores can kind of regain momentum. They have been kind of slowed at times here the last couple of minutes and really haven't spent a ton of time in the attacking third in the last 10 or so minutes.
And again, they haven't looked bad, but we're just our level of expectation has risen to such an extent here. Nice ball.
Sanchez with a Tovar on the back end header there, and Baudelet in the vicinity. But again, great boxing out, and there as Commodores tried to get a foot on it, but the Flower City Union defense did a great job to make sure that Baudelet couldn't come in there and flip one home, but it'll set up a corner nonetheless as Sanchez will retreat to the far corner.
I mean, that was just a gorgeous free kick from what, about 45 yards down to the end there. Just a spectacular free kick, and here he gets a corner out of it. Scored their first goal last Saturday on a corner. We'll see if they can reciprocate here.
That was set up by Perry, and that was Kinjo on the backside for the header. See what Sanchez can do here. He sends it short. That one last touch by Flower City, so I think we'll reset and do it again.
Yeah, break there for Erie. I think he wanted to get that thing up in the air a little bit higher, so I thought it was going to go into the side of the net for a goal kick, but we'll see if they can do something here on take two.
Baudelet has some size to him. He's on the front side there. We'll see if he can elevate. It's Baudelet 6'2". As they get that one up, that one trying for the backside, but good job that time by Kladstrup to just out-jump everybody. And he took that ball, corralled it in, and let his team reset and try to get out of its own defensive third.
That's all right, though. After allowing Flower City to have a couple of small chances, nothing really on net. Boy, you get submarined there. Now, to me, that looked more worthy of a card than what we saw earlier.
That was Rice again.
And at that time, Bavon got up in the air and was submarined. Hopefully he's okay. No card.
He's going to take a couple of seconds here. He's trying to stretch things out with that right knee.
I wonder if he landed on the knee or maybe sort of overly extended that right leg when he came down. It's hard to tell.
Do want to mention while we have this break of the action, if you haven't had a chance or you want to gear up for the postseason, the Heritage Collection is now at eriecommodores.com. Get the new apparel to cheer on the Erie Commodores and make sure you're ready for postseason action. Again, they haven't clinched just yet, but this is a team that certainly seems destined for the second season. You can head over to eriecommodores.com or head to the West 12th Street location of the Erie Apparel, and they have a number of great selections from caps, T-shirts, and much more. Get your Heritage Collection and get geared up for postseason play.
It is sharp. It is really nice stuff.
Well, and they bring the history to it as well, as they had the Oliver Hazard Perry saying on one of the shirts that we talked to a member of Erie Apparel with. And what a ball there. That time just a little bit too much behind it for Masaki Tsuji, but that time coming from the back end. But yeah, you want to make sure you're representing, cheering on, World Cup action, getting ready for the postseason. No better place to go than eriecommodores.com or Erie Apparel to get the swag, as the kids say.
And in fact, it wasn't the correct answer, but the winner of Jeopardy last week guessed the War of 1812, which was actually my guess. It was incorrect. He won anyway. So it was I don't remember the answer, but nonetheless, kind of cool. As I think the Niagara will be back in town at some point this summer.
We'll see how that plays out.
And then you can go down and broadcast it as it comes it comes back in the channel. You
as I did a year ago.
Do the play-by-play.
Myself and Lisa Adams over at Erie News Now with the Tall Ships Parade of Sails.
That could be a PK. No whistle. How about that? Looked like he got pushed in the back.
It looks like he took a shoulder.
And then he got another one. Tsuji, the first one, and then sort of an unnecessary little arm bar after the fact, but that very easily could have been a PK if they let him play on.
Yeah, Masaki Tsuji, just 5'6", and this defense quite tall for Flower City.
Yeah, this is a big team physically, Flower City. That's another thing that sort of jumps out at me right away.
Flower City trying to get it loose, but Kinjo there, that was last touch by Flower City. I'd imagine that'll be a throw in for the Commodores. I believe Japan in action tonight in World Cup, so Masaki Tsuji, maybe after this one, gets set to watch his his nation play. Check on that.
The start times for some of these games are rather odd. I think one of them might start at 9 p.m. Pacific tonight, which would be 12 midnight in the East, like a Hawaii Rainbows football game.
Catch me shocked, but Brazil is tied in the 67th minute with. Yeah, they're tied at 1 right now. I would have expected Brazil to come out a little hotter than they have, but. Commodores for Kito Takuchi trying to catch this one up for a crosser. We'll see if he can get it there. Sends it to Tovar. Maybe timed his jump a tad early and just couldn't get enough behind that to direct it towards the net.
I think Takuchi's cross was just a little bit too high, and you're right, he may have mistimed the jump as well, but I think a little bit lower on the cross there, they may have had a goal.
Yeah, the Brazil is tied with Morocco currently in the 67th minute. Also coming up tonight, Haiti and Scotland at 9 o'clock. How about this one, Jack? 12 a.m., Australia and Turkey.
I hope that game's on the West Coast. I would assume so. I did feel bad for the Paraguayan fans. Obviously, great expense and just never to be in the match at all. But obviously thrilled for the United States. Great effort.
Silva tries to send it to the middle. Can't get it. He'll retreat with Takuchi. That last game tonight, Jack, we played in Vancouver, Canada.
There you go.
At BC Palace, or BC Place, beg your pardon.
Which I believe is in, I think that's a dome, isn't it?
I think it sounds about right.
I think it is.
Vancouver, Canada, where pretty much most movies that have a outdoors backdrop are filmed, it seems.
I've heard it's beautiful. I would love to go to. I've never been to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe head up that way for Penn State, Washington. We'll see if Erie News Now can cover that thing. And that's how is that?
Wow.
Now that would not have been a PK. I don't think he was just outside of the box.
Outside of the box.
But I mean, he got leveled there. How do you not call that? That's 2 now, right down at that end that they've just chosen not to call.
One thing we have seen, Jack, other than I believe it was Niagara 18-12 in that first matchup, we saw a quick red in the 20th minute. The games here at Saxon Stadium, they have let a lot get away, but a couple of those borderline egregious in terms of allowing that one to go on without a whistle.
And it wasn't a play on the ball. I mean, he just sort of hit him with the shoulder. Obviously, we're biased, but, oh, man. I mean, especially considering what they had called earlier in this first half against Flower City. I don't know if they thought, well, we called 3 fouls. We want to, it's like the old thing in basketball where you see it's 7-1 in fouls after 1 quarter, and then they're like, oh, we better, subconsciously even it up.
Don't talk fouls and trying to even things out, given how the NBA Finals have played out with the New York Knicks. They have not been happy with the officiating, despite the fact they are just a win away tonight from hoisting the trophy.
As bothersome as these celebrities poking their fame into where it doesn't belong, the focus should be on the players and the coaches and the real fans. I did see that brilliant tweet of Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld. You know how to take the lead. You just don't know how to hold the lead. And really, that's the most important part, the holding of the lead. Anyone can take a lead.
Yeah. Akito Takuchi giving maybe a little head to Archie Murphy. That one not called. The head coach here.
Boy, they're going to play on. They're really letting him go here. Now, I don't think that was a foul because it was a nice play.
Rice gets around Bodelay here.
Kino made a nice play, and then 11 Rippey just sort of tumbled over him en route to the net. This has been a lot of activity for a 0-0 game here for both teams in the 32nd minute.
Yeah, this looks more like the Stanley Cup Finals than it does a soccer match here in mid-June.
And they're going to be away for a while. Again, won't be.
Oh, that one, that was just.
Jeez.
I mean, we're reaching a level of intrigue here. Is just unnecessary foul there that time coming from O'Dwyer Hall.
No yellow issued. Probably the right call there, but. Yeah, Commodores will not be back home until they host Cleveland on the 27th. They'll be in Rochester, not against this team, but against Rochester a week from today. That's a 4 p.m. start, and then they go down to Malone University on Wednesday. That'll be a critical game at the Ambassadors FC Ohio. That is in Canton, Malone, right near the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Probably not more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, beautiful area down there. Tovar does a
job.
He's onside, and he pushed that one maybe just a tad ahead. As that time coming out to make a play once again is Kladstrup. He's had a couple of breaks he's had to thwart against the Commodores so far in this one as we hit the 33rd minute.
Yeah, and that's just something we haven't seen Tovar do at all this year. You mentioned it. He had it, and if he was able to just control it better and go toward the net, I think he probably would have had a goal, but it was just let it get a little bit far off to the right, and credit the keeper, Kladstrup, with a nice play. That's twice now he's come out and done a nice job preventing a goal, risking life and limb.
That one fired by Rice. That one will just be allowed to go behind the end line. And
did you say fried by Rice or fried?
Fired?
By,
Did I
fired.
maybe?
No.
Maybe I said
fried.
fried. Yeah. Maybe got food on the mind.
I might get some of those Dollar Smith's hot dogs tonight.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
I've got some.
Used to work at a movie theater back in the day.
You did?
I did, yes. Private theater back home in the Pittsburgh area. You get 3 hot dogs and a large drink, free refills for $10.
What is a private theater?
Well, it's not an AMC. It was like a small,
I see.
locally owned, I guess. Yes, independent.
I was going to say, what kind of movies are they showing there?
As Suji with it now. Fires this one off the crossbar here in the 34th minute. And Sanchez calling for the fact that there was last touch, they believe, and deflected away.
Yeah, I thought the keeper got a piece of it, but they're not going to win that argument. Honestly, I couldn't tell. It was so quick.
Yeah, it was a quick fire there.
It was a great shot, and I don't know, 6 inches, maybe a foot.
Yeah. It was off the top half of the crossbar and then bounced away, or would have bounced down. But that time it almost looked like a broken play. The Commodores didn't seem to have the set that they wanted and just kind of rolled over.
We've got an injured Commodore way behind the play, and that's never good when you see a non-contact injury, and they're going to give him a water break here with the injury.
So while we have a moment, want to once again thank you for watching at home on the Erie Commodores YouTube page. And joining us here, I'm John Leineck, Jack Quinn, the voice you just heard. And the broadcast you're watching, all thanks in part to R. Frank Media and his fantastic crew, the number of people that he has commit to a broadcast like this, and the great people he has work for them, Rob Frank does, to bring you this top-notch broadcast. I want to thank them as one of the main and great sponsors of this 2026 Commodore season. Marquette Savings Bank, along with Michelob Ultra, tonight's match sponsor. Curtsy Foods. Visit Erie, you pick 6th. And also Erie Insurance, John Russell Brewing, and then Lecom, the title sponsor. Some of the great folks that make these broadcasts possible. As it looks like who was ever injured there, I believe it was Baudelaire, as he's rubbing his head. He was being tended to, but he's going to stay in for this match. Official talking with him now. Maybe a disagreement about something that was behind the play. But Martin Baudelaire will play on in this one. No substitution at this point.
Yeah, this is also the first time this year that we've seen the Commodores get visibly frustrated, and I think it's 2 things. I think one, it's that Flower City is playing extremely well, but also with the lack of whistles in some of these instances when I think Erie thought a foul should have been called. But they've got maybe another chance right now.
Right now here.
Right now here. Not here and now. There you go.
Get a little southern
Oh,
twang
beautiful, yeah. Like Brian Kelly, family.
We are family. Rikido Takuchi with it now. Different kind of football we're talking here, Jack. And a fire there by Sanchez, deflected away. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Flower City defense has been in the right position so far tonight, and that one will play on.
Well, Silva, he got away with one there. He extended the arm. They're just really letting them play in this game. And the one I mentioned, the lack of chippiness throughout the year, that is a concern that the more they let them play, the more liable it is to get chippy. Not there yet, but we're getting close.
And, yeah, that one, a little trip up there, as that time it was Silva coming across on Hobson. That'll allow for a free kick, no card.
Well, I guess, the old adage is if the umpires or referees have both sides mad, then they're doing okay, and I think that's where we're at the moment. But really the officiating, I thought, and it's easy because you're 7-0, so you don't pay attention to it, but I thought they've done a nice job in the games that we've seen. And right now the Flower City side angry with the referees. I think they wanted a card on that last foul.
Yes, their coach very vocal about that one as Murphy tried to corral that one. The Commodores will clear. This one will go to Herman, who has it now. Tovar comes from behind, a little shove, and boy.
Herman went down like Franz Ferdinand on that one.
Kinjo with contact. And we're getting...
Boy, he's still going at it down there.
Yeah, apologize
coaches
if the mic's picked up there.
Well, I mean, we can't. It's not our fault. I don't know why we have to apologize for that. He's the one that said it.
We know there's some young Commodore fans out there watching.
But they're going to get a free kick. I actually thought that was less egregious than the one they didn't call, and that's the one I think that Flower City was upset about back at the other end. But an excellent opportunity here for FC to potentially get on the board here in the 38th minute.
So lining things up here will be Nate Masucci, the midfielder for Flower City.
Masucci had been injured and, in fact, was not thought to even be on the active roster. But when I went in to get the lineups, he said he was back and good to go.
So send that to the far side. This one headed towards the net, and Horrocks, he comes up to play with that one. Bats it down. Alan Horrocks, he's got some size as well. 6'3", the Merlot, San Luis, Argentina native. He'll play with the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Well, and that's why it's so great when you're that big and strong, is you just pick it up in the air almost off the head of one of the offensive players.
Kind of like a Calvin Johnson.
There you go.
Julio Jones
Calvin
type.
Johnson.
Megatron.
Boy, he was great in college, too. I remember him at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that was him and Larry Fitzgerald, I believe, were. Was that the same season?
No, Fitzgerald was 03 at Pitt.
Okay.
Johnson was 06 was his final year. But I saw Larry against ND in Pittsburgh in 2003. He was unbelievable. And one of the few star receivers that doesn't appear to be crazy. We saw it again, always demanding trades, always unhappy. A.J. Brown, the newest of those. God knows what's going on with Brandon Ayuk, but Fitzgerald, the consummate team player.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about first class and a guy that you'd build a franchise around in terms of leaders. Larry Fitzgerald has Masaki Suji free here. He's onside, fires it away, and this ball still loose. Tovar with a second opportunity, but what a first half it has been for Carter Kladstrup. Not one, but two chances there as he comes out to challenge and there to recover, but it looks like a member of the Flower City Union is down there. But, boy, what a first half it has been for the Flower City goalkeeper.
Well, and Kladstrup, I think, also, he took a foot to the chest or the stomach area, and that's what goes into becoming a keeper is having to come out like that. Third time he's come out and made a great play, and that's Herman, 18, slow to get up as well. Looks like he has a lower body injury. Like in hockey, it's either upper or lower.
Yeah, he falls back down to the ground, so he's in some distress. So we'll see if the trainer will go to tend to him. But don't go anywhere at halftime. Again, John Melody, the owner of the Erie Commodores, will come up to analyze the first 2.5 days worth of World Cup action across North America between Mexico, the United States, and Canada, as we mentioned. Looks like we're going to get a new Commodore checking in for Mathieu Bevon. And for the first time that we've seen here on the home soil, it'll be Kaj Schroeder, the Rotterdam, Holland native, checking in on the back line here for the Commodores.
Yeah, I believe that's the first time, you're right, that we've seen him, at least here in Erie.
Jack, I will depart and meet you at halftime here.
All right. Boy, that first half flew by. I'll tell you what, with all of this action, it's 0-0, but man, oh man, we've had both sides have set with the referees. We've had people going down. We've had Erie with a couple of pretty good opportunities, but as John mentioned, it's been Kladstrup, the keeper, who has come out and made a couple of sensational plays. And now we're going to get a very late whistle behind the play and a free kick coming up. 2 yellows have been issued to two total to Flower City, none to Erie. And we're going to get a free kick from 51 yards out. This will be Bamford to take it. And not sure what that was. I don't know if he mishit that one. It was low and went right to Takuchi. And now it is Takuchi with the ball. 43rd minute it has been, a very intense, almost playoff-like. And you wonder, too, if there was maybe a little bit of an emotional letdown, the wrong word, but coming off of their biggest win of the year in Cleveland, against Cleveland, and just what that, having to sit around for 3 hours in the middle of the game and that weather delay. Ball up, nothing doing. But credit Flower City. We mentioned in the intro that they pretty much had to win this game, and talking about any hopes of getting to the postseason, and they have come out and played like their season's depended on it, even though there's plenty of games left. Flower City coming in 5th place in the Great Lakes Conference with a win, 2 draws, and 4 losses, and just 5 points. Another Commodore player went down. That was Tovar. And now a push over on the far side. Suji was looking for a whistle. He didn't get it. They have really let these two teams play in what has been an extraordinarily physical match thus far.
Yeah, Jack, this has had to have been the most physical that we've seen, at least here at Saxon Stadium. And it'll be interesting to talk to Coach Nastuda here at halftime to see his assessment, because so far in what we've seen on home soil for the Erie Commodores, they have not been challenged like this. We know they played a tough Cleveland SC team on Wednesday, but this has been a good match in the first half between these two.
Yeah, both these teams have done well. Erie's still with more chances, to be sure, but Flower City has been up to the task and then some. We'll see what adjustments Erie makes in the locker room as well, and see if maybe they can get something going here as we approach the 45th minute. Nice ball.
Yeah, Jack, and we've talked about that with Coach Nastuda. This is a great second half team, a team that certainly takes the adjustments that the coaching staff tries to implement, and they put them back on the pitch here. They've done a great job here, and we've seen a number of big surges in the second half.
I mentioned earlier the quickness of Flower City, and you saw it there that Erie had what looked like it'd be a nice run, but Flower City was so quickly back that Erie was not able to really threat. Maybe they get a threat here, we'll see. They haven't had those clean crosses either. You see it again there. Erie just has not been able to get those crosses off. And this one, we'll see what we're going to get here. Boy, that Flower City side has been very vocal about their dissatisfaction with these referees.
Very reminiscent of the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals, as we mentioned earlier.
And I believe that went on Tovar. All right, we'll double check that at halftime, but I think that was Tovar that got the yellow. If it was, that's his second of the year.
So 3 yellow cards so far in this one, two for Flower City, and now the first for the Commodores.
And no, there's extra time, but the refs never signaled it, how much we were going to get. So they're going to do 3 minutes.
Okay. It has been interesting so far in this one. As we said, the more higher quality chances have come the Commodores' way, but for Flower City, they've certainly had some of the pressure. They just haven't really put anything on net that would cause too much cause for concern.
No, but it only takes one. It's such a strange sport in that respect, not unlike hockey. And I think Erie has not had quite the number of chances, but they have had a couple. But you got to credit Carter Gladstrup has, I mean, I really do think he took a foot to the chest on that last one coming out when it looked like Erie might get on the board 1-0.
Be an interesting
nice
conversation.
Move. Oh, that was a phenomenal defensive play. Adam Grover just flat out took the ball away and thwarted that opportunity.
Yeah, this has been a big physical back line for Flower City through this one, and they've done a good job against some of the strikers and forwards for this Commodores group.
But Erie just a half step off in terms of the spacing in this one, the ability to flip the field. We did just see it there, but there's another example, nothing doing. And again, I think that you have to credit the quickness of Flower City. And again, getting Masucci back, talking to their coaches earlier, that's key for them. And he's been a key figure in why they're playing so well here in this first half, even though it's 0-0.
Jack, want to remind everyone, John Melody, the owner of the Erie Commodores, joining us at halftime to talk World Cup action. Halfway through day number 3.
Boy, oh boy, that looked like no contact. Dylan Rice went down hard, but now a ball to the near side. I think he is on. Tovar, yes. Oh, boy, right idea there. And I think he knew he had one there. You could see the frustration by Silva putting the jersey up over his face. He had one. It was a good entry pass, but just off to the left.
And it's been that kind of half so far for many of the top scorers in this Commodores group. We've seen Tofar uncharacteristically, maybe not having the touch that he's accustomed to. And then Silva, the latest here, just couldn't fire and find the back of the net, including Masaki Tsuji, who was about half an inch away from putting his first of the match here.
Still really think Erie's okay. I mean, they still have controlled things. If you're looking at it from a percentage standpoint, I don't know, maybe 65, 70% of the time. They're getting balls on net. They're having chances, not as many as we're used to. But I think if you're Erie, you're not thrilled with what's happened here, but it's still 0-0, and you are still outplaying this team. Nice passing there. Little give and go, but that was a miss hit, I believe, by Takuchi. And that'll do it for the first half of play, 0-0. And John, I know you're going to do the coach interview, but again, I think if you're Erie, there are a lot of positives to take from this, but I think if you're Flower City, there are a lot more positives, just that you have this team who's in first place, unbeaten, untied upon in the Great Lakes Division, a team that has scored 25 goals on the year, and it's 0-0. I think Flower City has to be thrilled with that first half result, 0-0.
Yeah, Jack, I think looking back at the previous 3 home games, they had 1 goal in the second home match here at half. But this has been a team that has usually potted a couple in the first half. But we've got to remember, this is a Flower City team that has played great defense all year. And they held the Commodores to just 2 goals, a 2-0 victory when Erie went on the road to Rochester. So they've known how to at least match up well enough against this Commodores team. Now it'll be on Coach Nastuda, and we'll hear from him some of the adjustments he'll want to see heading into half number 2.
Yeah, again, and Erie's had plenty of chances. If they keep dumping it in, if they keep putting the ball in front of the net, they're going to have good things happen to them. But I think just the spacing is the one thing they're going to want to work on. And getting those corners to guys like Takuchi. We have not seen those runs down the sideline and those clean centering passes, so they're going to have to figure out a way how to get some of those.
Yeah, and going off those corners, they've had a great job of a guy just finding the right angle. They just really haven't had that tonight. I don't know if they've had it as good of strikes either. I know there's probably a couple that Sanchez would like to have back here after that first half, maybe a couple that went short and a little lower than he would have expected.
Yeah, there's no question about it, but it starts getting the ball down the field and getting those runs and having those crosses. And now there have been instances where it looked like they're going to have a chance, and they're just a half step off. So plenty to adjust to if you're Erie, but again, not the worst result of the world, 0-0. You are still outplaying them. There are positives to take.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Coach Nastuda making his way over here. He's going to join us in just a moment, but we'll see what he has to say after a first half in which it was awfully physical here in this first one.
And this is probably the hottest game we've had, too. The humidity. We saw Erie with a rare first half substitution, so it'll be interesting to see how liberal they are.
Yeah, we're joined by Coach Nastuda. Coach, your first half observations and takeaways for your group.
Decent half on the ball, not quick enough transitions. When we recovered the ball, didn't have a desire to go forward, really.
That's something that you've liked to see. It seems like your team pushes better in the second half, but what do you make of the physicality and the defense that Flower City has displayed here tonight?
Definitely, they're playing a low block. They're just waiting for us to make a mistake and not trying much more. Our lads have quality, and I know the chances they're going to come. I have no doubt in the second half we're going to have many, many more chances. I mean, we had 2 chances that we should have finished, but it's football.
What do you want to see from your group as you go into the locker room here and come out for the second half? What's the best thing that your group needs to do to finish those chances?
Just the desire. I feel like the last touch, we're not being clinical enough in the attacking third. I feel like everything is so complacent. We're just trying to play backwards when I want to see my team play more forward, to be honest.
All right, we'll see how things shake out. Coach Nastuda, thanks for the interview here at the half. We will have much more coming up in our halftime report here from Saxon Stadium, including the owner of the Erie Commodores, John Melody, joining us. He'll talk all things World Cup, his analysis of what has transpired across North America over the first 2.5 days. You're watching Erie Commodores Soccer, and it's all presented by LECOM.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
LECOM is among the nation's largest and most applied to medical schools. We expand the boundaries of medical knowledge, challenging our students and preparing them to realize their potential. With 4 campuses nationwide and over 17,000 alumni, you can become part of the next generation of LECOM graduates. At LECOM, we make doctors.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
We welcome you back to halftime here, scoreless between the Erie Commodores and the Flower City Union, joined by the owner of the Erie Commodores, and that is John Melody. John, obviously a big week in the soccer world. Thursday night we kicked things off in the World Cup. Your takeaways from the first 2.5 days as we're through here in North America?
Well, I suppose, 2 victories and a tie for the home countries, so there's a good start right there, and Mexico looked quite good. Canada were unlucky not to win that game, quite honestly. And then US, I think, surprised us all last night, particularly in the first 45 minutes, and came out and whatever pressure people thought they might be under, it didn't look like it. They were fluid and they played extremely well. A couple of good goals and, got to, Pulisic maybe a bit of a worry. Went off at halftime with a little bit of an injury, so hopefully he's just resting. And, that game was in the bag early and, so far so good for USA.
Were you surprised with, not maybe that they won, but how emphatically they won? You mentioned really controlling things, dominating with that 3-0 lead at halftime.
I think we all were because, Paraguay are a decent side in qualifying. They've had some good results against some of the top South American teams. And, I think that people were a little bit nervous and apprehensive and how good are the States. And, if for anybody, though, who watched the 2 games previous, against Germany and the other one was against Ghana or Senegal, I believe, they look quite good in patches, And you're kind of thinking if they can put that together for 90 minutes. And they didn't even need to. 45 minutes was 3-0 and, closed out the game quite easily in the end.
What did you make of Thursday's action? Obviously, Mexico comes away with a 2-0 victory, and then you also have South Korea against a Czechia team that certainly some had as maybe a potential challenger for some in that 2-1 victory.
Yeah, and, in Czechia, they were in the same group as Ireland, beat us on penalties. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here tonight. I'd be somewhere else. I'd be somewhere else watching a soccer match. But there you go.
Too, actually.
There you go. But listen, there's a couple of decent games, and I think to see the crowd in Mexico and to see the excitement in the atmosphere was very pleasing. Obviously in that South Korea game looked like there was a lot of empty seats in there. That's not ideal. But the US game then has everybody, in this country kind of bouncing a little bit of, what might be with 3 points and a +3 goal difference in your first match. Couldn't have asked for a better start.
No, and it was a great atmosphere in Toronto as well. We were texting during that game. Canada really seemed like they outplayed Bosnia. Credit Bosnia. At least they were able, though, to get that tie in the 1-1 result.
Yeah, in Canada, it looked quite good. Listen, the guy that cleared that ball off the line onto the crossbar, if he was there for the rest of his life, he probably couldn't do that again, quite honestly. But, Canada kept coming at him and at him and at him. And, they look, good. But I think that... it's out of the 3 home teams. Listen, Mexico looked quite good the other night, albeit the opposition mightn't have been as strong. But, I think a lot of people would be so pleased with the US last night. And, it's interesting looking at the US team. So many of those players, I would say 7, 8 of those starters, cut their teeth in Europe. A lot of those guys moving over there at 15, 16, working with academies in England and in Germany and in Holland and different places. And that's interesting to see. And a little bit of fruits of that labor seem to be showing.
John, I want to ask you, obviously, a lot of great opportunities. John Russell Brewing, a good place to be as the World Cup headquarters.
Right.
But so far today, Switzerland with a draw against Qatar. Then you have Brazil right now deadlocked with Morocco. Any takeaways or
Well,
I
watched a bit of the Qatar game before I came over here, and they scored literally in the last minute of the game to get the tie. They hosted it 4 years ago. They didn't win a game, so they picked up their first point in the World Cup. So they'll have a little pep in their step too. And Morocco were in the, were they in the semi-final 4 years ago? I believe they were, you know what I mean? So, Brazil are always Brazil. They're not what they were, but, still I think when people see a Brazilian shirt on the field, they expect to see something. So there's probably still a few minutes to go in that game, but, I think at that point, both of those teams would be quite happy with a tie at this point in the first game of the World Cup.
Just from being on Twitter, I know casual fans love the idea, the replay reviews. We saw the overturned card in the United States game, and then also the graphics showing exactly onside, not onside. What about people like yourselves, diehards, coaches in the soccer community? Do you like these rule changes they've implemented?
Listen, you always want the right decision, but it's getting a little busy. You know what I mean, with the technical side of the game, and but there's so much at stake in a World Cup, and you just want to have the right call. And if that slows down the game a little bit because you actually get the decision correct, then you got to be for it. As you're trying to grow the game and develop the game, it's probably a necessary evil, quite honestly.
Well, as people plan, as we mentioned, John Russell Brewing, the place to be. Any matches over the next maybe day or so that you're really looking forward to?
There's not a lot now. Coming up. It's all kind of a focus now. We really want to see what the US looks like next Friday night, and I think that's a big one. There's a few prelim games, but there's just not a lot. We talked before, and England, Croatia, that's coming up this week. France, Norway looks like a decent game in the first round, but there's not a lot of really ones that jump off the page. After you see them, you can say that was quite a good game, but there's nothing you're looking at really that's kind of like, I really have to kind of set my clock for that one.
I believe that U.S. game is a 3 o'clock start Eastern on Friday, so, knock off work a little bit Erie, head to one of the U-Pick 6 places, John Russell Brewing Company, and check it out.
Well, Jack, I couldn't have said that any better. Thank you for most. Yeah, so it's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Friday. We will be there at John Russell Brewing Company, so come on over. And we had a great atmosphere in there, and a lot of the Commodore guys were there, so you had a lot of different nationalities. You might have had a few guys from South America shouting for Paraguay, but they were silenced fairly early. And like I say, good result. And go USA. And you really hope that they keep on rolling. It's only good for the game if they do.
Yeah, good for the game, good for the country, and we'll see how things play out, John.
Right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll see how it plays out, and I'm sure we'll hear from John as the World Cup goes along. As it stands right now, scoreless between Flower City and the Erie Commodores. We'll have second half action coming your way in just a short while. Stay with us. This is Erie Commodore Soccer, presented by LECOM.
John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
Life isn't a single moment. It's a shared ribbon that bends through the years. It binds us to the things and people we love most. One insurance company knows this because they live it. For more than 100 years, we've been with your family for the moments that matter most. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance.
Visit Erie. Good life, great lake.
Like in medicine, great achievements in sports require hard work, long hours, and determination. The outcome in both is worth the effort. LECOM is among the largest and most applied to medical schools, with 4 campuses nationwide, offering student-centered learning and a nearly 100% residency placement. The Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. We make dreams reality. We make doctors.
At John Russell Hospitality, every restaurant tells a story of flavor, community, and unforgettable moments. From handcrafted meals to welcoming spaces, we bring people together around a table. John Russell Hospitality, where great food meets genuine companionship. Make sure to visit one of our 6 locations today.
Visit Erie, Good Life, Great Lake.
We welcome you back to Erie Commodores Soccer, presented by LECOM, in a matchup against Flower City, the second and final one of the regular season between these two squads. Scoreless at the half. Last time these two played, it was 2-0 at the half when these two played up in Rochester. That was back on May 23rd. So we will see how this one plays out. Again, in that game, it was Alvar Silva and Alex Sanchez coming away with the goals in that matchup for the Commodores. We'll see Julian Tovar. I think he had about 5 chances there, Jack, in that opening half.
Would help if I unmuted my microphone. Yes, they had a few, and again, we just got to credit the keeper, Kladstrup, I mean, for getting out, coming out, and he set that tone early. But that last one in particular, where the ball was loose in front for a moment, he was able to smother it. But again, if Erie just keeps it up, again, it's a very physical match. They got to rise to the occasion. Both these teams do. 3 yellows combined in the first half. But I think if Erie can continue with these chances, I think they'll be okay. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see the implementation of those second half adjustments. This group has been so good. You heard Coach Cat Nastuda there in our halftime interview. He's just too passive. Ball's behind. He wants them to move north as this one fired. That time off Martin Badalay. The Commodores going the other way. Will Perry with it now, trying to feed Tovar. As Perry with it now. Yeah, Jack, usually at this point in the first couple of home matches, we've been talking about looking ahead standings-wise, but not tonight. Close contest here.
Well, there was a sub for Flower City. Number 5 is in, and no number 5 on the roster that I saw. Is there one on that one?
Luka Dodge.
Okay. And I believe, as best I could tell, I was trying to look it up just in my head right before the second half started. I think that's the only change for either side coming out of the break. So, just underway here in the second half of play. Glad you could join us from Saxon Stadium on what has been another gorgeous night. Far cry from what Erie experienced on Thursday in the form of Wednesday, I guess it was, in the form of a 3-hour weather delay. And they'll try to play through anything. The lightning, I mean, if you were in this area, anywhere in this part of the country, we had incredible storms, and now we're going to get Free kick coming up for Flower City.
That's one of the newer Commodores that we've seen here at home. Kaj Schroeder from Holland called for the infraction.
Making a bigger impact than Dennis Schroeder did in the Eastern Conference Finals, which was 0.
Your pool's no bounds. Dennis Schroeder, man, you want to talk about, he may have set the record or close to for the amount of teams that he's played for.
Yeah,
he's
he's been around. I liked the trade. I'd always liked him, but he was not up to playoff basketball.
Has this one thrown in. Schroeder, though, great recovery there to head that one away and then try and send the group forward. Silva with it now, just tries to turn and get it up to Tovar there. Great job by Sanchez as he'll feed it off to Silva, back to Tovar, and they'll run Sanchez forward. He's going to try and reverse fields. He'll feed it to Perry, who has a step behind the defense.
It was just an outstanding ball by Tovar to flip the field. That's something we didn't see from the Commodores in the first half very often.
Yeah, they like those stretched passes especially with their strikers. As with it now, Masaki Tsuji trying to find a lane in but can't with Takuchi and Tsuji. Boy, they sometimes will send those long arching passes that have connected on a number of occasions this year. Not so much tonight.
I go back to this end. Schroeder made a great play to not only head it on a potential chance for Flower City, but was able to angle it out so they didn't get any kind of a rebound on it. It was a real nice play that set that up, and he's going to be off.
Yeah, just a couple of steps offside, they may say. So,
boy, the Flower City coaches are still chirping with the referees here.
Yeah, you got to put some work in there, Jack. They want it to be known. As we mentioned,
but at some point, and I remember this from a former local college football coach who was a great guy, but on the field constantly, non-stop, chirping at the refs. And if you talk enough, they're not going to take you seriously when you do have a legitimate point.
Masaki Tsuji tries to make contact there, and a great job that time clearing it away
Grover,
by
that
Adam
was great.
Grover. Yeah. Angled off Tsuji, who, if he gets one step in, he's probably going to fire one off.
That was a phenomenal play. You're right. He may have saved a goal there. So big-time play by Grover. But Erie in control here. We'll see if they can take advantage, get that spacing down, and find the back of the net for the first time tonight. Nice pass. Beautiful
great
pass.
Backdoor feed. Tsuji right in front, and that one fired home. Will Perry, we had mentioned him at the top of the broadcast as a guy who maybe hadn't found the opportunity to add to the stat sheet. He does so here in the 50th minute. Will Perry coming up with the tally. And boy, what a beautiful passing play. Talk about this group coming into this one. And we heard from Kata Nastuda, who wanted to see more from his group. Will Perry, that is his first of the year, and none bigger than needing it right there to break this stalemate here. What a passing play. Masaki Tsuji setting it up there as he sent it across the box, and Perry just waiting to fire that one home. And the Commodores, they lead here 1-0. You can see just the disappointment and frustration, how well they have played has Flower City throughout this match, and to give that one up so early here in the second half.
I mean, I don't know where the Soccer Hall of Fame is, but that's a reel you could put in the Soccer Hall of Fame. The passing there, and we mentioned they hadn't been as crisp in the first half, Erie. It does not get any better than that. The initial entry pass, then the no-look with the foot on top of the ball behind the back, and then finally Tsuji with the great final pass, and then Perry blasting it in. I mean, that is a clinic in terms of spacing and coaching. And we mentioned what adjustments might they make. Well, whatever it was, it worked, because that was a brilliant run and goal.
You know, Kata Nastuda might want to offer his services for second half speeches, because whatever he says to his group and whatever the coaching staff says, they find a way to implement and do it early.
I think he says to them, hey, put the ball in the net. That first goal of the year, incidentally, for Perry, so congratulations to him. Tsuji's second assist to go along with one goal.
Masaki Tsuji, the way he feeds, we talked about Perry at the top of this broadcast, at what he's done to kind of create plays. But Tsuji, boy, his footwork is phenomenal.
Be interesting to see now, like we've seen in the past, when Erie gets that first goal, it can sometimes open up the floodgates. I don't think that'll happen because I think this Flower City team is better than some of the others we've seen, but we'll see, because you're right, emotionally, they came out sky high. They had played them to a 0-0 draw, talking about Flower City. So for Erie to get that quick goal here in the 50th minute, that has to be deflating. We'll see how Flower City responds.
It's Rice with it now. He'll feed it up ahead. See if Flower City can get a chance of their own. They had attacking third possession time, but the chances weren't all that great. Maybe one corner, Horrocks had to bat down as Rice sends it into the box. We'll see what they can do here. But not the shot volume that the Commodores saw in the first half as things played around. Ball still loose there. That time Masucci right in front, and they fire it home, and the answer.
Boy, I don't know how Erie was unable to clear that.
As there was Jack Hobson to answer just 3 minutes later here in the 53rd minute. It's Jack Hobson, and that is the first home goal that the Erie Commodores have allowed this season here at Saxon Stadium. And boy, talk about deflating to give that one right back. Just the second goal the Commodores have yielded this year. And again, for all the passing that we saw in the Commodores goal there, it was Flower City just really frustrating, confusing this Commodores team, and they just were unable to find possession to clear that one away, and that led to our equalizer here. So we have played, almost 8 minutes now in the second half of play, and some excitement on both ends.
Well, we asked how Flower City would respond to that goal. I'd say pretty well. I'm still not sure how anyone from Erie was able to get a foot on that and at least either force a corner or clear it out. It was some great footwork down there by Flower City, and they got another chance right off the bat.
Murphy, the crosser there that time, maybe a little too far. O'Dwyer Hall sitting there on the backside. There's the goal scorer Hobson with it again, as that time it's Silva taking it away. Again, the sideline for Flower City. They were looking for an infraction, but
they're always looking for an infraction.
So that'll be passed back to Horrocks. He'll send it to Bottele. He'll just feed it up Schroeder. But just not the right touch there for the Commodores. And here comes Murphy again. He'll drop past this one. Ball still loose. That one fired away. Schroeder, good job that time. And now that'll allow Masaki Tsuji to go the other way. Silva with it now.
4-on-4, but Silva quickly couldn't advance it. Now Erie, though, with a 5-on-4 if they can press up here. Nice ball to the near side.
Silva looking for Sanchez on the near side. He catches up to it. We'll see if he can shake the defender.
Oh, what a move by
Sanchez. He does just that. And he feeds it now. Oh. And it's Rikido Takuchi who just sends it short.
Yeah, I mean, that was a brilliant move by Sanchez. Great pass up to the top. And just not there by Takuchi. Great look.
You have to ask yourself, too, Jack, when we think about athletes and the mental side of things, man, you had so much amped up for that game against Cleveland on the road. Come back here, and I don't want to say that there's been a letdown, but you just so much, and the great job that Flower City has played, it's just some uncharacteristic touches here for this Commodores group.
Yeah, and again, the amount that took out of you, not only was it an important game, a huge game with first place on the line, but they had to sit out a 3-hour weather delay, and now they're going to get a corner down here. But, that was one that was an odd choice by Takuchi. Usually he doesn't miss on those because the keeper, Kladstrup, was on the left side of the net. I was a little bit surprised he didn't try to maybe go top shelf on the right side, and we'll see if they can bounce right back here after surrendering the tying goal.
So we'll see, I believe that's Sanchez there, set things up. See what they can do here. Not fortuitous on the corners in the first half, but there's the header there from Schroeder that'll go wide to the right.
Be interested again, we were sort of alluding to this at the first half break, at the otherwise known as halftime, I should say.
Yeah, you can describe it however you want.
How liberal will Erie be with the substitutes, just because it is a pretty warm night? It's not blatantly hot. It's in probably the upper 70s or so. Just as I say that, we're going to get a sub coming in for Flower City. But I'll be interested to see how deep they go in the bench, because to be honest, and we saw Schroeder come in the first half, we have not seen Erie in tight games which they haven't had many of, go to their bench all that often.
There was a great drop pass there that time from Masucci. He was trying to find Murphy there, but great defense there by the Commodores, you mentioned. And the nice thing here is the sun has, for the most part, other than maybe about a third of the field, a little strip here at Saxon Stadium has allowed. Currently feels like 78, Jack.
Is that from the weather terrace? Is that coming from the weather deck or the
sure.
out there? There you go.
Real feel is just 78 and not much wind to speak of. So
and we are in the press box, so it's a little bit toastier in here, but still not easy. That's Safari that's going to check in at the next opportunity. We'll see if Erie can get something on the board before that.
Suji with it now to Silva. Silva fires from odd range, and boy, about another 6 inches higher there, and he would have had another one as one of the top scorers for this group. But a good job once again by the keeper.
Yeah, it was a great strike. Sorry to interrupt there. Great strike by Silva, and just unfortunately it ended up being dead on. So, yeah, we're going to get a couple of subs here coming up. And do you have a 77?
I do not have a 77.
Not either. We've got two different rosters. And I did ask, incidentally, Flower City, okay, is this correct? Is there anyone missing here? And they said no. So we'll try to figure out who that is. But a corner here for Erie looking to take the lead.
And we will
nice. Gladstrup just snatching it out of the air.
Getting set to check in, Dylan Sumner, veteran of the squad for the Commodores. So both teams getting ready to get some fresh legs onto the field.
Sumner with a goal on the season.
I believe that came back in the second matchup of the year here at Saxon Stadium against Rochester. Let's hear another attack. Murphy with it. Beg your pardon, that was Rippey. Rippey tries to fire it. That'll touch off the Commodores defender. And Commodores have been retreating here the last 5 minutes. They had a good 2-minute stretch there, but it's been a lot of Flower City here in the second half.
Yeah, as soon as Erie scored that goal, Flower City has really dominated the field possession for a span that we have not seen here, at least in Erie, where Erie has been back on their heels for an extended period of time. By extended, I say about 8 minutes or so, but that's more than we've seen at any point consecutively this season.
Again, these are the matches, though, that'll help you stand the test of time as we get into the postseason and the second season. These are going to be the type of matches you're going to be playing. No disrespect to the first three teams we saw in Niagara, Rochester, and Buffalo, but you're not going to see a customary game that's going to see 4-5-0 scores. Gets set to send this one into the box there that time, and a great header by Tovar to at least clear temporarily. Tovar will try to track this one back down as it went through the air. And then that time it was Kinjo trying to clear it away. Almost went into the baseball field. Luckily, the baseball behind us is since ended, so no disruption on that side of things. And 77 will check in.
I'm sure they'll be back at the crack of dawn tomorrow for the traveling tournament.
Yes. Sumner checks in. Safari has not checked in, but we'll try to get a 77. If time allows. So we approach the 61st minute here of action. 1-1. If you're just joining us, Will Perry in the 50th minute, scoring his first of the year to put the Commodores into the lead, but it was short-lived, as in the 53rd minute, Jack Hobson coming up with the goal to send this one into a 1-1 tie, and that's where we stand at this point. It was scoreless at the half, so both goals coming here in the second half. Tofar, again, just can't turn things and go the other way. Great defense. As Safari just checked in, he's there. As coming to retreat there that time was Masaki Tsuji to help out on the defensive side. Silva with it now in a little space to run.
So on a previous stat sheet, 77 was listed as Michael Cunningham. So I think we can go with that, but that from earlier this season on the NPSL website.
Okay, he was previously 70 on a roster that we had.
And I was told was not going to play, so that we're doing the best we can, folks.
Hey, Jack is a wise, talking about the NBA Finals, a wise man once said, anything is possible. Good job by Tovar trying to drop it to Silva.
Well, you saw the speed from Tovar there. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too far. Now Sumner giving chase. A little bit more pep in the step of Erie at this moment, although that was an errant pass. But Erie, it's like they all got beat 12 shots and a late whistle.
Heads up.
The fans do not get to keep the soccer balls that go into the stands, as if that is no card issued there, but free kick coming up.
Imagine that if we had rotational soccer balls like they do in the major leagues or minor leagues, that you had to have like a set of like 20.
I think when a ball goes into the stands in any sport, you should be allowed to keep it. I think that should be the rule, to be perfectly honest. I know they're on a budget.
Well, the NFL, you get fined. You throw the ball into the stands nowadays.
But the fans are allowed to keep it, right? I mean, if
well,
a ball
you're allowed
goes
to
into
keep
the
it.
stands,
Yeah, it's just not good news for your favorite football team.
You go into the stands, too. If you're a wide receiver and you start screaming at a fan in the stands, you also not only get fined, but you get suspended for a game. Not that that would ever happen.
Well, you did have Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, however you refer to him as Malice in the Palace back in the day.
Well, I meant Mr. Pickens, actually. I was
yes. No, I know George.
Problem.
You mean DK Metcalf.
I'm sorry, Metcalf, right.
Yes,
Pickens is the other. I'm sorry, yeah, DK.
Yeah, the Steelers have had a number of wide receivers that have had quite the emotions and interactions over the years. George Pickens usually saves his interactions for Greg Newsome and the Cleveland Browns when he was a part of the AFC North.
Yeah, they had Antonio Brown. Yeah, they've had quite a run there. Talented, though. A lot of talented guys.
Yeah, think about the group that they had at one point. Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, and Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown was the least skilled at that point, or least utilized, as this one will be sent in. And a great job by Kladstrup to just punch that one away on the Will Perry entry pass.
I just don't understand, and I was thinking about this with the A.J. Brown thing. Why receivers? You never see, like, star shortstops as a position group constantly chirping and demanding trades. You never see star forwards in soccer or great goalies in hockey. It's just one position group in one sport. I've never quite understood why that is.
I don't know that it's position. And again, I am not a savant in terms of the soccer world, but I mean, I guess over in the European leagues, there's been guys that want change of scenery.
Oh, sure.
Ronaldo, Beckham, I think, has done that a couple of times. Obviously, we've seen Messi. Although I don't know the Messi situation, as Silva will play this one back to no one.
That's another one. That's just this type of thing we have not seen this season really from Erie. They've been crisp at times, just not consistently throughout the match, but maybe a chance here.
Tofar will let that one play. He's with it now. Perry, as he fires, and that one loose and just rolls through the goal mouth, as that one will set up a corner kick. But, boy, Perry has been spectacular tonight, almost with his second.
Yeah, just too tough of an angle. Keeper got a piece of it, but they get a corner out of it.
That's where you like to have that guy coming late to just try and fire that one home. You have to wonder, as we set things up here for the corner, how much they miss Santiago Geraldo, who obviously is unavailable tonight after that late red card on Wednesday's match. This one fired in. He provides a lot of speed and footwork. That one goes out, so we will try it again.
And he had only just come in. He had only played 9 minutes in that match, and to get a red in the 89th minute, that's rough. I mean, look, it's better than getting one in the 9th minute and being down a man for the balance of the match, but still.
Sumner will get set to send this one in. Fires it into the box, but
nice
Kladstrom again using the mitts there to send that one away.
Kladstrup has really had a nice game.
Yeah, we've seen some quality goal performances despite the outcomes of the match, but this by far has had to have been the best keeper play we've seen through now 4 home matches.
So they gave them a hydration break. We don't want to call it a water break. After an Erie player was slightly banged up. We'll see if they do that here in the second half as well. Nice ball inside.
Tovar to Silva. It fires just over the net, but a great job that time by Julian Tovar to just use his chest to angle that one right to Silva and put down the speed, as the coaching staff for Flower City still not pleased with calls here tonight.
Still complain. I don't know what the nature of that complaint is. That was this is now, we're getting back to sort of what we're used to seeing. And if they can keep putting these things on, I think good things will happen here for Erie eventually.
Well, I think for the most part, the Commodores have at this point had to come to an understanding that those long stretch passes are just not going to work here tonight. But for the most part, if you have those mid-range ones or can set up things in quick area, they maybe have a shot.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's a credit to the quickness of this Flower City team. Incidentally, 19 Gavin Rice has checked into the game for Flower City. So Flower City going a little bit deeper into their bench than the Commodores have into theirs.
With it now, Bottele. Play to Kenjo now to Masaki Tsuji. Just take the space and run with it. He's sandwiched between a pair of defenders. Cunningham.
We're going to get a yellow.
And that was Jack Hobson, the goal scorer. So that'll be the third yellow. That'll go against Hobson.
Actually, it seemed like the two Flower City players were the ones that got the brunt of that. They almost ran into each other. You mentioned he got sandwiched, but they certainly got the worst of that one. So as you said, third yellow on Flower City.
So we'll see how the Commodores draw this one up. Perry and Sumner discussing strategy here.
Tovar, the only yellow issued to Erie thus far.
Now it came late in the first half as Perry plays it. He'll retreat behind Tsuji with a little give and go. Perry in front of the net. Ball still loose. Sumner has it now. Looks to shoot. Fires on net, but up there to reel that one in is none other than Carter Kladstrup.
That's a heck of a job by Sumner in traffic to get that off. Now we get another collision, and I think Sumner's going to get a talking to. He's going to get a yellow.
As Sumner gets the yellow there. That'll come here in the 69th minute. So they're starting to rack up the cards after they let them play through a lot in the first half. John Leidick alongside Jack Quinn. If you're just joining us, big shout out. And thank you to LeCom, the title sponsor of the Erie Commodores, but many other great different organizations making Commodore soccer possible all year long. Erie Insurance, Marquette Savings Bank, Curtsy Food Service, Visit Erie, the UPIC 6 locations, John Russell Brewing, Michelob Ultra, and then, of course, the wonderful people that make this broadcast possible. That is our Frank Media, Rob Frank and his great crew with this absolutely superb display here. The graphics, score bugs, and great camera work from everyone and the directors and people behind the scenes that you don't hear from. I thank Rob and his crew for great success through the season so far. With it now, Perry surveys the seam, tries to cut back into the middle. That one deflected off a defender and cleared away.
Well, Erie's done a much better job here over the last 8 minutes of game time of controlling the field position like we're used to seeing out of them. The question now over the next 20-plus minutes, 20 minutes in stoppage time, is can they get one through here?
Yep. See if they can continue to add. They, again, 7-0-0 coming into this one.
Breeze is picked up at the back of Erie, nothing major, and now we're going to get a free kick.
Sumner again in the middle of that action. Sumner having quite the conversation with the official. Got to be careful here as David Citron will get set to check in as the next substitution, it appears, for the Erie Commodores.
Well, Citron had that hat trick earlier in the season. They don't need 3 here. They essentially just need 1, so we'll see if he can find that glory once again for Erie.
They don't ask how, just how many. As we approach the 72nd minute of play, that one high Skyer there. Cunningham with it now, but good job by the Commodore defense, and that allows Sanchez with space to, or rather Silva, to go and run. But again, the miscommunication between the Commodores That time, Bustamante trying to find Silva.
Just a little bit hasty, and again, they're hustling things a little bit too much, and you got to credit Flower City and their pressure defensively, but just being a little bit hasty with some of those passes tonight.
They've done a good job in Flower City, too, of just bunching the Commodores up at times. Too many guys, just one small area.
Well, I was looking over to the far side. Takuchi not open. They have not been able to flip the field, but mostly because they haven't had anybody on the other side of the field that's been open.
Yeah.
And that looked like, I guess it was tipped. It must have been tipped down there, so it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, we have not talked much on Takuchi's side as one of the forwards for this Commodores team. It's been mostly to Masaki Tsuji's side of the field, regardless of how they've gone.
Well, he's been blanketed, and credit Flower City defensively.
Citron will check in for Julian Tovar. So the leading goal scorer for the Commodores will check out. But Citron, no slacker himself this year, as you mentioned, Jack, coming up with the hat trick against the Buffalo Stallions. That was on the road.
I believe 2 of those goals came in the second half. So, again, doesn't need 2, just need 1.
Yeah. I think all 3, matter of fact.
Was it all 3? I think you may be right about that.
That's when we started our discussion last Saturday against Buffalo about the natural hat trick.
Right, that's right. Yes, the natural hat trick as opposed to the unnatural hat trick.
Those of you at home, normally in the hockey space, I don't know if it pertains to soccer in the same space, but 3 consecutive goals, the natural hat trick is referenced.
There was also a women's basketball coach, college, that we used to see up this way. Don't think she's there anymore at one of the Pennsylvania state schools that you'd see come up to Gannon and Edinburgh and Mercyhurst and just constantly chirping.
Boy, we'll have a lot of discussions after the microphones go silent here because I have a couple of guesses to some of these people, but previous discussion about as Masaki Tsuji taken down by Cunningham. Yes, yeah, I was dead on that one.
Right. Again, the funny thing was, this gentleman referred, couldn't have been sweeter off the air. Just phenomenal. A great guy and a Browns fan, but again, when you're just nonstop in the ear of the referee, the umpire, the official, whatever it is, when you do have a valid point, they're not going to, they're going to tune you out at some point.
Perry with it now, and said coach also would give it to his players too.
Yes. And the team, God love them, was not very good.
No. But we'll tell you a fun fact about said person. Huge, loved weather. When
really?
they would come up to the station, he loved getting behind the green or in front of the green screen and playing around with the different tools over there. As Will Perry, we'll get back to the action here and discuss that in a moment. But Will Perry with the header, or with the fire into the box.
Oh, there you go, one time
shot, and Sho Kinjo spinning, falling to the ground, trying to fire that one home, but just a bit too high.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was deflected. Not the case. It goes through the uprights and down into the parking lot, but it'll be a goal kick. Another good opportunity. But again, not a lot of daylight. This has been an excellent defensive performance. Both these teams have been great defensively. It's just eye-opening to see Erie defended so well because we have not seen that, as you mentioned, since that friendly against the Riverhounds 2 of Pittsburgh.
Just joining us, Will Perry opened the scoring in the 50th minute here in the second half after a scoreless opening half of play, but it was a short-lived one. Just 3 minutes later, Jack Hobson, the equalizer for Flower City. That's where we stand here as we tick into the 76th minute. I want to keep you up to date as well on World Cup action. As we mentioned, Qatar, Switzerland today. That was a 1-1 draw, and so too was Brazil and Morocco. Next matchup is from Group C. Haiti, Scotland coming your way tonight. That is 9 o'clock. That matchup taking place in Foxborough, Massachusetts at Gillette Stadium, home of the defending AFC champions.
You had to get that in there.
Yeah.
And now you have, look he may be a little bit off, but you do now have a legitimate #1 receiver. And I was surprised. I thought for sure they'd have to give up next year's #1 pick, but No, you get to keep that for one more year.
Yeah, and Joe Lidnowski, good friend of ours on the Pennsylvania Sports Network, Howie Roseman usually comes out shining in most of his deals.
Always.
So we'll see how that plays in the NFL for those of you that are passionate sports fan across a couple of different realms.
I just thought it was odd that a team like the Eagles, who are in win-now mode, would not get anything back for him for next season. Is there, like, if it was Cleveland, fine, but their goal is to win a Super Bowl, and you've now lost an all-pro receiver and gotten nothing to replace him other than a draft choice that you used in this particular draft in Mekhi Lemon. So I thought that was a little strange.
Yeah, well, I think the leverage there was they knew, at least the Patriots side, there was a handball there not missed.
No, they missed
not called, rather.
Nice ball up ahead. Can he get there?
Wow. Cunningham with great recovery speed.
Yeah, you saw the speed from Suji to get down there. And
I don't think it was in the box.
No, it was not in the box, but it will be a free kick from a wicked angle, as they say actually up there in Boston.
Wicked smart.
Yeah. And are we going to get a card? I don't.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are.
The
fourth one tonight is that one's going to come against Cunningham here in the 78th
It's always
minute.
dramatic, overly dramatic, when they hold it in there for a second. You're not quite sure. But this is a tough angle. We'll see. Now, you can play it back and try maybe a one-timer from the top left to the point, or maybe sometimes you'll see teams sort of toe it and try to chip it up in the air, almost like those flop shots that you see around the green in golf. We'll see what they do here.
Good reference there is upcoming this week, the U.S. Open from Shinnecock.
Busy time in the greater New York City area with sporting events. My goodness.
Sumner with it now as he'll fire it. That one just off Bottle-A and goes wide.
Yeah, he was right there, just could not get the proper angle on it.
And we're going to have a substitution here. Jack, do you have a 17 for me?
Andrew O'Neal. And, of course, it's apropos that someone with the last name O'Neal would have number 17. Got to like that. Boy, you just wonder, I used the Yogi quote during that baseball game. It's getting late early, and, Erie's had a number of chances down there to reclaim the lead, and you just wonder how many more are they going to get. That was a good one, as good as any.
Well, Jack, I did say in our World Cup action, 2 1-1 draws so far today, so maybe it's one.
Fate?
Or if you're going to like to partake in the world of gambling.
Oh,
so
nice
here we go with a chance. Sumner, and just a great recovery by the defense there. That time it was none other than Hobson, the goal scorer, to come and make a little interference there to make sure that Sumner couldn't fully wind up and fire one home.
Yeah, it was a great job. I mean, that's in addition to the goal, as you mentioned. Hobson's now made 3 or 4 excellent defensive plays, and he may have just prevented what could have been the clincher. We still have 11 minutes plus extra time, but you start to get the sense that the next goal here will probably be the winner. Nice.
Great job by Rice to try and spring O'Neal forward, but that time they couldn't get anything set as Horrocks there.
Yeah, I think Cunningham just mishit that one. I don't think he meant to put that much on it.
And to bring to light, not that Horrocks has seen much action or played that much, but he's been the lone keeper to yield the 2 goals against so far this year.
And that one, I don't really put on him. I was just surprised that because there was so much traffic that Erie, nobody was able to get a foot on the ball and at the very least get it out of bounds and force a corner. It was odd to me as that play developed that Flower City maintained possession and that Hobson was finally able to put it in.
Great job on the defensive side there. I believe that was Kinjo on the backside, and now try to spring the Commodores forward. Perry with it now. Ball still loose, just flips it up there. That time is Takuchi trying to come and make a play, but as he has read the ball all night and read the play, Carter Kladstrup comes out and just settles everything down for Flower City.
I thought for a second that Kladstrup might overrun that ball, but he was able to get it. You're right. He has had every read he has had tonight has been the correct one. That's a good point that you make because you've got to decide in a split second whether or not to come out, and every time he's made that decision, it's been the right one.
Alvaro Planas standing by, trying to check in here as Safari with it now. Franklin Safari trying to make one quick move here. Commodores come over, and this ball's still loose, and that ball is in. Is it in?
I thought it hit the side of the net.
Side of the net, maybe. Okay.
Now we'll check the replay, but I thought for sure that hit the side of the net.
Now we have a Commodore down there as it's Citron. As we'll see if they have a stoppage here.
They can't review anything. There's no reviews, I don't think. So, I mean, so do we have the replay? I think it hit the side of the net.
Yeah, I think it went up and under. It looked like it went up that top corner, but I think it was on the outside of the net and the way the netting is strung. I think that's what gave the deception there that was in the back of the net.
Got to give the Flower City players credit for trying to sell it.
Hey, you got to be convinced.
And now we're going to get a yellow card on the bench of Flower City. And quite frankly, well earned. He sent enough of that. Now, that doesn't affect you as a player, but of course, if you get another as a coach, you got to leave. They finally had enough of the incessant chirping from the Flower City side.
So again, we'll see how things play out here.
That's sort of like when a player doesn't get hit by the pitch in baseball but really tries to sell it. That's sort of what was happening there. Yeah, sure.
But it was a close call nonetheless.
Here we're getting another look at it.
Boy.
From there, it looked to me like it was in, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if we can play that one. So it goes up over. Oh, boy. I can't tell.
I can't tell if it went off the top.
Net.
I can't tell if it went off the top or what. Honestly, it's great camera work, and it's still so hard to tell. Here we look at it again.
Like there, that's on the line.
Yeah, it's
that
on
was
the
right
line,
on the
and
line.
you're right. And it was his hand that hit the net that made it look like
it went up.
It had hit the back of the net. Yes, great camera work, guys. That's outstanding.
Great job by Rob Frank and his crew here. That's why we employ the best here, Jack, as broadcasters. And Rob and his crew are one and alone.
So, boy, it was close, though, but a great call, at least according to that replay, by the referees to not call it in. But here, a great chance, though, nevertheless, for Flower City. Now here he gets the clear.
Again, approaching the 85th minute here. Time is dwindling. Maybe time for maybe one or two more attacks for either side.
We've had no injuries. We've had the 2 goals, so I'm saying that to say I can't imagine. Now, with a tie game, they do tend to sometimes maybe give you an extra minute or two of stoppage time, so maybe they'll give them 5 or something. We'll see what happens, though.
So we'll see here what happens. It's just that time.
We had that 5-0 game where they basically just bagged it. They said, we're done here.
There was no stoppage time at half or at the end last week against Buffalo.
Man, oh man. They're still pleading their various cases down there, the Flower City sideline. And now we're going to get a free kick for the Commodores.
Boy.
Fairly good opportunity here. You said it, John. I don't know how many more chances they're going to get here. But, they'll go back and see that replay and see that it did not get in.
But it was awfully close.
It was very close.
And it was just another one of those. Horrocks came out and tried to maybe just corral it, but he didn't jump here as Sumner will fire this one in. Ball still loose, bouncing around. See who comes away with it is Cunningham with great awareness to angle that one off. And, yeah, that's going to be last touch by the Commodores here. Jack, I will have. All right, we approach the 85th minute. So, Jack, I will have to depart the booth here. I'll join you down there and see how this one.
And hopefully by the time you get down there, Erie will have reestablished the lead in the 86th minute of a 1-1 match here. What has been easily the most intense home match of the season, and probably second only to that road victory in Cleveland for the Commodores on Wednesday. But these teams have really worked hard throughout this match, and now it's out of my line of sight. Think we're going to get a corner. We will. This will be Hobson to take it, who scored the lone goal of this match for Flower City back in the 53rd minute in an immediate response to the Erie goal. And I think they either offside or maybe they got the keeper with a body, and based on the keeper, Horick's reaction, I think he may have gotten bodied. He had the ball anyway, so it's moot. It'll be a free kick for Horick's after the foul, or a goal kick. Essentially, it's the same thing now in the 87th minute. 1-1. This has been a fun match to watch, a very intense match to watch, and a nice ball up ahead. Planis, but too far, just couldn't quite get there. Planis, who subbed in with 2 goals on the year, but just couldn't quite get there. And it's a goal kick. Now, we will not be back with you for a home match until June 27th, so 2 weeks from tonight. Road fixtures at Rochester on Saturday at 4 o'clock for Erie, a week from today, and then at FC Ohio on Wednesday the 24th. So we hope you join us back here at Saxon Stadium, and if you can't make it, on the video stream 2 weeks from tonight.
You can feel the intensity down here, Jack, and just what this match means to both sides as the Flower City bench continues.
'88th minute. Can Erie get at least one more run? I'm guessing they'll give them about 5 minutes of extra time, but we'll wait and see. But, well, you can, yeah, you're right. Even from up here, John, you can really sense the intensity.
Good job by Schroeder to keep that one in and keep the play alive here.
And now a chance perhaps. 4-on-4 for Erie with speed up at the top. Planis, fresh legs. Citron trying to get the cross off, and he just did not have the angle. Cladstrap picked it out of the air.
I was going to say that the jump from Cladstrap down here is even more impressive. Just the way he reads the ball. Another good job there to take away that angle and not allow another opportunity for the Commodores.
89th minute. Camera. Yeah, outstanding job by Rob Frank's crew here. Now we're going to get a free kick, and we're going to get another yellow as Gavin Rice, who had subbed in. There are 2 Rices, Dylan and Gavin. Dylan had started, Gavin had checked in, so now he gets a yellow in the 89th minute.
Now the 6th yellow card for this Flower City Union team. So we'll see once they sort this out there, Jack, how much extra time we'll have.
I was going to say, I'll guess 5, but I'm usually wrong about these things. And I guess they hadn't turned them loose yet, so we'll try this again. A little bit surprised Erie's looking to play this short here. You think they maybe just pound it down there and see if they can get a good bounce.
Bottele plays it as down here that time as Silva. Great play here.
Wait. How about Grover there? That's the second time tonight he's made an outstanding defensive play. Just turned on the afterburners to get to that ball. Let's see Erie again. They've just not been able to flip the field and have those runs down the sideline as they have throughout this season. So they're going to work the middle. I think they're doing 4, but we'll wait for the official word. Sumner. And now you got a little bit of room over there. We'll see if they can get something going.
Again, Jack, we've talked about it. Takuchi's not had a lot of opportunities. We'll see what he can do here, feeding Perry.
Yeah, the referee over here forgot to turn around and let me know. There you go, just wide to the right. Oh, my, what a beautiful cross. And about, what, 2 feet? John, would you say to the right there, that would have been in?
Yeah, Silva just 2 feet or so, maybe less. It was right there, almost caught the post.
Just a gorgeous cross, but could not quite get the angle on it. So I'm not going to do an announcement here because they didn't tell me exactly, but I believe I saw the referee put 4 fingers up to the coaches. So We'll try to go with that, but that's unofficial. Boy, these teams are going to sleep well tonight. This has been a hard-fought, physical match.
Yeah, that's going to be a free kick. A lot of clutching and grabbing down here. It's going to go to Flower City.
And Flower City will absolutely take their sweet time here. They don't want to give anything back to Erie. Oh, it was 3 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Rob Frank telling me it was 3 minutes that they awarded. But that doesn't, as you know, if you're watching, not absolute. As you saw the U.S. game, I believe it was 7 minutes of extra time at the end. They scored over 7. So if there's a scoring opportunity, they'll let them play on.
Do want to remind people, after the game, we'll hear from Coach Nastuda and our man of the match about today's performance, regardless of where this one ends.
Jamie Zani wants to check in. I don't know if he'll have the opportunity to do so, but he's over there on the side for Erie, maybe to give him some fresh legs and also perhaps to run some time off the clock if this pressure continues. Look out. Boy, that was a great cross. Stayed in, though. I thought that one would go out, but it stayed. It was a beautiful cross. Couldn't finish. Cunningham just did not have the correct angle on it. And Zani will indeed check in now. Well, check that. Yep. No, will he? Yes, finally. There we go. So Zani replaces Perry, who had a great match. I think at this point here, you're just looking for a clear and blast it down the field. And 50-50 ball one. That was well done by Flower City there, but it's going to be a throw for the Commodores. We're now 3 minutes into extra time. And they're going to call an improper throw, which I don't think we've seen called at all. I couldn't tell you the last time in years, and they choose to call an improper throw in a tie match in extra time. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know that we've seen one, maybe.
Not this year. I don't remember seeing one, and I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one in a Commodores game. And again, now if you're Erie, you're just looking for the clear and a tie, maybe not the worst result in the world, although now they've got a chance in front. I don't think Zani would have been onside even if that had leaked through. Now he is, though. Cleared away, nicely done there on the 50-50 ball for Erie to keep that down. That's going to do it. 1-1. And a hard-fought, physical match. And for the first time this year, John Leidick, the Commodores do not come away with a victory.
This was one where Flower City, got to commend them. They did a good job defensively. Really, you could see down here on the field. They did a good job clogging up that middle of the field where the Commodores operated at a number of times.
And now we've got a little extracurricular activity here with the coaches. We want to have a look-see at this. I think the Erie coaches, they're still pointing. They're upset. I'll tell you right now what's going on. The Commodores, as we were, at least I was, I won't speak for you, John, the Commodore coaches were upset at the constant, incessant chirping from the sideline from Cleveland throughout this match. It did result, it's not biased, they finally yellowed one of the Cleveland coaches, and some bad blood there between these two coaching groups as they now go to the handshake line. So a little bit of drama there as this thing comes to an end.
Yeah, boy, and a hard-fought match, a physical one, and it extends well past the whistle here between the coaching staffs. But yeah, just to get back to the point I was making right before that is just that, you know, the job that the Flower City defense did tonight to really clog up that middle part of the attacking third where the Commodores had operated so many times this year. That was probably the difference in this one. I think, Jack, that the Commodores just really could never get anything going, and even from the corners, great job just packing the house around Kladstrup on the as the keeper in net.
Yeah, and again, Erie had chances, but they just didn't have the daylight. And like you said, credit Flower City. They were up to the task and then some defensively. They were absolutely the quickest team we've seen this season in Erie against the Commodores in NPSL play. We're not going to count that friendly, although that team was incredibly quick as well, the Riverhounds. But they did not let Erie get that crisp passing off other than on the one goal. We just didn't see those runs, those moments like we've seen throughout the year from Erie. We didn't see them flip the field from side to side because those guys were not open on the far side of the field throughout the match. We didn't see them get the runs down the sideline and the crosses, and it was all because of the defensive pressure from Flower City. But Erie was great defensively as well because Flower City's chances were few and far between additionally.
Yeah, it was just one of those games. It was a well-played match here today. You would say the momentum or the possession metric maybe sided with the Commodores, as you were talking a little bit there, Jack. Yeah, it's one of those matchups that, for the Commodores, maybe it'll serve them well. There's coaching points you could take away from this one in a match that certainly had its moments for both sides.
Well, and it's certainly not the end of the world right now because Erie is now 7 wins, 1 draw, still no losses. They still have a big point advantage over Cleveland. They beat them head-to-head. They have a massive goal differential in the tiebreak. So as long as the Commodores just take care of business going forward, this result should not hurt them too much. But if you drop a game or two, all of a sudden that first-place positioning becomes a little bit precarious, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah, joined here by Coach Nestuda. Coach, we saw the early adjustments. You get the early goal, but what's your big takeaway from tonight's match?
Good reaction in the second half. We liked it. We still played our game at the end of the day. They scored on us, maybe because of our own mistakes, not because they played better, I think, but I back up all of the guys. We kept our style until the end, and we drew because we wanted to draw.
What did you see on that goal there? It seemed like it just kind of a ball bouncing around that your group couldn't clear.
Yeah, we need to just fix some defensive things that we will do that next week in training. But the guys have the quality to do it, slip up in a moment, but that's it.
What can a group take away? Yeah, obviously this group has enjoyed a lot of success this year from a match like this, and how can you guys move forward and use it as a learning lesson?
Yeah, I mean, we played 8 games till now. We won 7, drew 1. It had to come. I'm happy that it came now earlier, to be honest, because we will learn for this. We kind of needed this wake up because we've been having some good games, but still, you need to adapt whenever you're losing.
All right, Coach Nestuda, thanks so much. We look to grab Will Perry here as our man of the match, as he'll come alongside here. But you heard it there, Jack. Some positives to take away, that it was more or less things that the Commodores can improve and not so much things that Flower City did to hurt them in terms of the gameplay. So we will await Will Perry to try and grab him to come over here as our man of the match. Do want to recap this one for you. Again, Will Perry had the lone goal for the Commodores here tonight in the 50th minute. And then just 3 minutes later, it was Jack Hobson coming up with the equalizer for the Flower City Union. A physical game in all, total 6 yellow cards for the Flower City Union, 2 for the Erie Commodores, that coming to Julian Tovar, and Dylan Sumner had his in the 69th minute.
And John, you alluded to it a little bit. Not that this team needed a wake-up call. Obviously, they were 7-0-0. But I do think that when you look down the way, this could be one of those results that is helpful. Playing in a game that was this physical, that was this tight, with this many cards, getting the other team getting under your skin at times, certainly. I think this is one where obviously you want the win, but it's not the end of the world in terms of the result, and I think it's also one that, maybe could fortify them going forward. So, yeah, you're disappointed tonight you didn't get the victory, but it's not the end of the world, and it's something that may make this ball club stronger as the season goes on.
Yeah, you think about the championship teams and how they're made. There's going to be points throughout a season that you're going to have to understand. You're going to have a setback maybe, and it's what you do with those setbacks or the learning lessons from those that you try to take something away from. As we're trying to locate Will Perry to come over here, Jack, as I'm just looking around the field. I'll see if we can grab maybe one of our defenders here tonight if Perry's not available.
Well, and again, it doesn't hurt them at all in the standings now. Again, if you lose a game or two down the way, it could, but it shouldn't. It really shouldn't be the end of the world as long as they continue to take care of business.
So we'll see if we can grab somebody here down as our man of the match. Here he comes. Will Perry's going to come over here as our man of the match here tonight. Will, thanks for joining us. We'll have you come just a little bit closer here to me. What did you make of this match? Obviously, it seemed like you guys tried, as you had all season, to find some spots there in the middle, but they did a good job trying to clog things up.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Couldn't seem to quite break them down, but you know, they're a good side. They set up well defensively, but we'll be disappointed with that. We should have come out with all 3 points, but we'll move.
What did you see on your goal, and what did it mean to get that early one there as you guys tried to establish some momentum there to start the second half?
Massa was just tearing them the first half down that left side, so I just thought he's going to get in this byline area, so if I get myself in the box with a bit of space, I'm sure he'll deliver, and he did, so good goal.
Obviously, there's learning points throughout a season. What can you guys take away from this one here tonight to try to propel you guys moving forward here as you go to the latter half of the regular season?
I think it was good in a case of it's the first team that showed us something a bit different. I think the other games we've all felt quite comfortable in the sense of playing and feeling like we've dominated the whole game. So at times we were under the cosh a bit. So it's definitely going to be useful when it comes to that end of the season, and the points really matter. But I think other than that, like, I still think we were the better side. We dominated most of the game, but we just couldn't quite get that last goal.
All right, Will Perry, our man of the match. Thanks for joining us, Will.
Thank you.
All right, that'll wrap things up here from Saxon Stadium. Want a big thank you to all of Rob Frank's staff at R. Frank Media for providing this matchup here. Again, it'll be 2 weeks from now that we'll see you back here for that Cleveland SC home matchup on the 27th of June. Want to thank everyone for watching and joining us here tonight. Again, the final score tonight, the Erie Commodores won and the Flower City Union won in the first draw of the season for the Erie Commodores. That'll wrap things up from Saxon Stadium. You've been watching Erie Commodores Soccer, and it's all presented by Lecom.